And I think we're rolling. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Lost in the Dark podcast. And we're back in person again.
Yeah.
First time in person on video. Clint from Recorruptor is my guest tonight.
What up?
And it is so good to see you in person, buddy.
It's nice to see you too, man. After all this fucking shit.
Yeah, man. The last time I saw you was the last time I saw you, as in last time I saw you was the last time I saw Recorruptor at Oigs Fest.
Yep.
What was that, late February?
Late February, the leap day, actually.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Right before all this shit popped off. And that was the only show that I've been to this year, or probably will end up going to this year. Here, real quick, actually, just to remind everyone what life was like just a few months ago. Let me see if I can't find that flyer real quick, because that was a great show.
Oh,
there
it was.
Yeah, the Rock and Roll Bad Guys, Recorruptor, From Blue to Gray, Pythian, Locust Point, Throne, but I don't think they were able to make
That's
it.
correct.
Yeah,
Throne did not play.
Pan, Hordes, Grave Moth, fucking Teething, The Bloody Lips, Room 101, and Ominous, all played at Max Bar. Yeah, on the leap day in February.
Yep.
That is fucking crazy. That was such a good time.
Yeah.
That was a great show.
That was a nutty show for sure. And, yeah, you know, having Throne not be there. And actually, Iron Mountain was supposed to play as well.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right. Forgot about that.
What was it? January 13th or 14th was the original date for that show.
Yeah. And then it got postponed because they were scared of a storm, right?
Yeah, there's some huge ice storm or something. And, I mean, probably was the right call. I get it, you know, even though it wasn't, like, that bad. But, I mean...
It didn't really happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we still ended up having, you know, the show, and it was still fucking awesome.
Oh, it was gnarly.
Oh, it was a good one.
Yeah.
It was a good one, and I'm glad I fucking went.
Yeah.
Holy shit, man.
You ever think that would have been your last show of the year?
Dude, absolutely not. Like those episodes back then that we were doing. The episode I did about Oigs Fest fucking was just all how amazing Oigs Fest was, and how we got in a few weeks Carnifex coming up, and then the Slipknot show, and then the Lamb of God show, and then the fucking Dahlia Testament Municipal Waste show, and the fucking the Jungle Rock Convalescence show, and dude, yeah, just so many of them.
2020 was shaping up to be a fucking gnarly year for concerts, that's for sure.
For rock and metal in general, like between the Poison thing and the Guns N' Roses tour, the Slipknot and the Megadeth Lamb of God, like giant tours happening this year.
Not to mention the not even that it's really my bag, but the Crew and Leopard and you said Poison,
Poison show, yeah, the Motley Crue big tour,
I forgot they were on that.
Going to be enormous, dude. That was going to be fucking huge. Like they didn't even cancel it officially until just a couple days ago.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. Can you necessarily blame them? You see how much those tickets were?
Yeah.
I'd have to fucking put another mortgage on my house.
To cover that. Yeah, it's fucking insane. But in any case, at least on a small level, things are starting. Like the stay-at-home order has obviously been lifted here in Michigan, and things are starting to look up. I actually saw today we only had like 3 new cases in Ingham County today. In our county. That's
actually really surprising considering all of the protesting that's going on. Obviously, you know, great for them. I'm in big support of that, but you know, it's still a question that's there. What's going to happen with the pandemic? Right. It's not something that
it hasn't gone away.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Still there. Question is how much is still there.
Yeah, but then again, you know, there's still testing to be done and all that. So who knows what's going to happen? But you know, because I've seen things. And I'm not trying to go, you know, conspiracy kind of deal here, but it's, you know, there's, you know, sources coming up, there's facts coming up. Yeah. I don't want to call it facts, but articles talking about how I guess they're thinking that this has been the coronavirus has been in the country, at least our country, since as early as possibly September of last year. And, you know, that doesn't necessarily surprise me because I've heard some people that I've known close to me that have talked about how they were ungodly sick for 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, they got something crazy and then just went away.
Yeah. And, you know, a lot of diagnosis of just simple upper respiratory infections or like the flu or something.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe maybe we are through the process of like the second wave already, and we just don't know it. I don't know. I'm not gonna go ahead and say that's kind of a fact until, you know what I mean? Because I think everybody has been wrong about everything this whole time.
That's the thing. There doesn't seem to be any reliable sources, and it's not that they're not reliable. Even it's just that I genuinely just don't think anybody knows.
Yeah, and
you know what I mean?
It's tough to know. Yeah. This is something that we haven't lived through.
Right.
In
100 years.
Yeah, shit. Yeah. Like when the Spanish flu was around,
I don't think.
I mean, sure, there's been illnesses since then, but I don't think anything has even come close to being as treated as properly and delicately as this has.
Not on this scale. No.
Yeah.
This is definitely all unprecedented. Never will be fucking talked about in 20 years in books, in the history books and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, this is fucking unheard of.
Yeah. It's nuts. Yeah. And it's, you know, like, even not just that, but all of the, you know, all of the movements that are going right now with Black Lives Matter and, you know, looking for reform in the justice system, in the criminal justice system. We're really living through a time that I don't think anybody could have predicted, but some of it, you know, I'm welcoming a lot of it. I mean, obviously I don't welcome the pandemic, but, but I mean, I think that without getting too political, because I don't really like going there myself anyway, I think a lot of this has needed to happen. You know, even though there is a lot of strife with it, there's going to be, and I mean, change is extreme. Sometimes you got to do these kind of things to make people realize we can achieve better.
I mean, it's basically the largest civil rights demonstration, civil rights demonstration I think in history, because it's all 50 states, 13 other countries. Yeah, like I don't think it's ever been on this scale, and I think that's largely due to, you know, social media.
Yeah, I agree.
Big time. But it's fucking unprecedented. It's unheard of. We've never seen anything like it, and it's I agree with you. I think it's nothing but a good thing. It's a positive. I think it's going to be cause for positive change. At least that's what I hope.
Right.
But fucking hey, man. Even besides that, so obviously, that's the stuff everybody's dealing with. How about you? How have you been? What have you been dealing with?
I've been good, actually. You know, shoot, it is June 6th, so it's already almost half the year, and, you know, most of the year, myself and the guys have just been spending, working on this new album.
Yes.
In our personal lives, I mean, shoot, Alex and I had just got houses, and Seth is about to get a house.
That's fucking awesome.
We're growing up. We're not the we're not the little teenage bumpkins, you know what I mean?
That's fucking awesome though.
Yeah, getting houses and, you know, working the jobs and all that. It's just, we've just been laying low and trying to, you know, bust ass behind the scenes while we can't play shows. It's a bummer. You know, it's kind of weird too. Where we get a little unsettled when we don't play shows. It's our release, and
you play regularly, you know. So,
being since March 15th, and literally a day before the stay-at-home order was enacted.
And I totally understand what you mean by just not going to a show for this long. I'm like if I got loud music on, I'm bumping into walls and shit a little extra hard. Like, fuck is this? You know what I mean?
Yeah, just kicking and pushing my girlfriend in the living room.
Start a circle pit with me. Fuck yeah, it's definitely but you know, I can't help at this point. I can't help but think about what it's going to be like that first one back. It's going to be like fucking spiritual. Like
I am curious about that. Yeah.
I mean, I just hope that it comes back. It doesn't come back. I hope that just comes back when it's ready. Not
exactly.
Like, I don't want to go and have to stand 6 feet apart. There's no goddamn way that people are going to stand in the crowd at a fucking metal concert and stand 6 feet apart.
Right.
Not a fuck. The second you hear that,
Right? Nope. Fuck everybody around me. Fuck everybody.
Don't be near me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I feel you, man, and I was gonna say that myself too, because I'm I mean, frankly, we're already getting show offers for the year, and I'm just yeah, and it's just a thing where it's like because we still even have Michigan Metal Fest on the docket.
It is technically still. It's not been canceled yet.
Yeah, we
it's
haven't.
Not been canceled yet.
We have not gotten any kind of go ahead to say it is done.
No,
you know what I mean. So, and that's August 29th.
Yeah, that is still a long ways away.
Or 28th. Well, it's that weekend.
Yeah.
I know. So it's I don't know. We're getting these show offers, and it's like cool, like sure, but just the way everything is progressing with how with this pandemic, with the spread of the virus, it's a little weird. I don't know. Like, if it comes back too early, then you have to worry about people even, being too afraid to come back.
Yep.
You have to worry about, what the kind of social guidelines there are going to be at the show.
And there's going to be a lot.
If it comes back
in the phases, and they said that, like, outdoor situations can have, like, 500 people or less, like outdoor venues and stuff like that can open. And I'm like, a place like Pine Knob DTE can't even, if they open it and only allow 500 people in, those tickets are going to be $300 a piece just to cover the cost of opening.
Oh, probably even more than that.
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't even think it'll be on the outdoor show. I mean, then again, Michigan Metal Fest is a weird situation because it's not a venue. They turn it into a venue.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Is a weird thing.
It is really spread out too. But I don't know. Still, I don't know. That's the thing. We don't fucking know.
Yeah.
We don't fucking know.
Yeah,
but I do find it crazy that you guys are still getting show offers for what, like, so like post August time periods.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a crazy lot. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it's just, I think it's just people that are hopeful that we can, we really want this back, and it needs to come back in big fashion, and I absolutely do not knock them for that. No. Don't get me wrong. Like, I think that it's admirable to have that kind of passion, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. No. I'm just, it's just a skeptical thing for me. It's not a negative emotion that I have towards it. I would love for nothing more than to be able to do something like that, but it's just a confusing and kind of scary thing.
Yeah, we just don't know how to nobody really seems to know how to deal with it, so
yeah.
Seems best to just kind of do what you can, do your best, you know what I mean? But that's crazy. That's because there are some that's another part of it that really drives me nuts is I'm worried about some of our favorite venues around the state, you know what I mean? Like, really worried about whether or not they're going to be able to open back up when the time.
No, you're exactly right. I mean,
freaks me out.
There have already been plenty of just normal businesses that are having a tough time with. I'm going to take these off. I don't really. I kind of forgot I was wearing them. They're already having a tough time, and a lot of them have already closed doors, just saying, nope, we're not dealing with it. It's donezo.
There is a small local spot. It's mostly a bar, but they definitely have live music like 4 or 5 nights a week, so it's a regular place.
Yeah.
And because they're a bar, they're technically allowed to reopen. I think at like 50% capacity on Monday. And I saw on Facebook they put out a thing saying, we're not doing that yet. We are going to wait this out until right after the 4th of July, and then we'll reassess the situation pretty much.
Right.
So, so I think some businesses are taking it, that way too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I hate to be like that, but I realistically don't think that. I mean, local shows will come back before national shows, sure, because there's a lot less politics with that, and there's a lot less money involved in doing that. I realistically don't think that, like, touring for bands, especially on a national level, is going to come back until next year.
I agree, yeah.
Because you're talking
we could be wrong.
about... Yeah, well, I mean,
maybe we're sitting here in fucking at the end of July and there's no cases anymore, and it's like, holy shit.
Right.
But we don't know. We don't know.
Yeah. I think that until they find a vaccine, it's not really going to settle down. Even if the cases do dip, I think people are always going to be worried about another wave of it coming.
Yeah.
It's a tough call, I just know that even back in March when all this stuff really started popping off, there were so many bands on tour that were just starting. I mean, for example, like the show we played with Origin and Defeated Sanity.
Oh yeah.
And Torn the Fuck Apart and Beneath the Massacre.
Yeah.
And that was their third day of that.
Yep.
Damn near month-long tour.
And then the next day it got
canceled.
Was their whole rest of the tour canceled the next day? Damn.
Yeah.
Was it all Michigan?
What's
or was that Origin? No, that was a national tour, right?
Yeah. Origin's from Kansas.
Yeah.
And Defeated Sanity's from Germany.
Same with that was the same with the Carnifex World War X tour. They were 3-4 days into it, and the whole thing got.
Yep, a lot of those.
Like I went to bed looking at a post from Scotty and Lewis saying, we're not going to cancel any the shows. We're going to keep plugging along as much as we can. We got to get this out to our fans. Blah blah blah. The next day they were like, the record label told us we can't do it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess that's a weird thing too, because I saw a lot of people were just like, well, why would you do that? Why would you keep putting people in a room together like that? And it's like, dude, you have to realize how much money they've already invested in this
Oh my
tour.
God, yeah, a lot of bands are going to go fucking bankrupt.
Yeah.
A lot. Because that's the thing. Most of, I mean, outside of your, and even in some cases with Slipknot, but outside of your Slipknots and Ozzies and Maidens and Motley Crues and shit like that, none of the bands we talk about really ever... Even Lamb of God, they're not rich. Cannibal Corpse is not rich. Black Dahlia Murder is not rich.
Yeah.
They make enough to live. And Parkway Drive, if they reinvest all their shit into this tour or this DVD or this show or this album, and all of a sudden it can't come out, the tour gets canceled, the merch can't be sold.
Dude, it's a hit in the stomach, man.
All that money all of that still has to be paid for on some level. At least, you can, if you pre-buy all the plane tickets, you're fucked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, and imagine some of these bands, like especially like Defeated Sanity from Germany, they ain't making fucking money like that.
Exactly.
They are not.
Exactly.
And they fucking got 3 days out of a tour in which they had to apply for visas for.
Oh.
They had to buy the plane tickets.
They had to come over here.
They had all that fucking money invested in probably a rental van. A rental trailer. Who knows? I mean, a lot of those bands even have rental gear to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Dude, so much money.
Yeah.
These bands they can't afford that.
No.
I remember seeing Devin Townsend say, because he was another case. I think because Seth and I were going to go see them the Friday before the stay-at-home order.
Oh, okay.
And it got canceled that day.
Wow. The same day as the show?
Yeah.
Wow.
He said, Devin Townsend came out and said that he had already, just from canceling that tour, lost $100,000.
Holy shit.
Like, that's Devin Townsend.
Yeah. He's
huge.
He's
he's huge. But even still, not as big as some of the bands that you're thinking. You know what I mean?
Not I can take $100,000 loss hit huge. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, there aren't that many of them.
But at the same time, I think that because of the age we live in with the internet and all the technology that we have, I do think that bands have done a really good job for themselves at adapting with the situation, especially with all these stay-at-home internet festivals that are going on. A lot of bands are, pushing themselves to create more content out of this situation. Like you said, Carnifex just released a single.
Fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely awesome.
Oh, dude.
Oh, man.
It's so sick.
I think I might like that one song better than anything on World War X, and that's not a dig at World War X at all. It's just awesome.
It's just a great... It's long, too.
Yeah.
It's like 5.5 minutes long. I was like, yes.
Yes.
Great track.
And yeah, these bands are doing this, and some are taking advantage of it even, really well. Like, I mean, shit, Black Dahlia Murder just placed number 4 in pure album sales on the Billboard 200.
That's insane. That is insane.
And that's for a record that came out during the fucking pandemic. Yep. That's awesome.
Yep.
For a death metal band to do that?
Yeah.
That's huge. That's why they're the fucking best, man.
It is. It kind of makes me, I don't know, it makes me even a little bit more bummed, I guess, that fucking, that's weird. That they delayed indefinitely the Hatebreed album, and then they delayed the Lamb of God album till 2 weeks from now, pretty much. That was supposed to be out first week of May. It kind of makes me go, man, like, if those had come out now, a big reason I think for that delay was the flip side that Dahlia didn't have to worry about. Dahlia had all their physicals ready to go, whereas Lamb of God and Hatebreed, still the pressing plants were closing down, so they couldn't get their physical copies pressed. So I get it, but at the same time, if they had if they had still released pre-orders, just with everybody of the understanding, you're not going to get your physical copy for a while, but we'll give you the digital with every physical, so that way you can hear it the day of the release. I think it would have been like some of the most streamed shit ever. You know what I mean? Like,
it's tough too, because I think at this point everybody knows that money is not in the streaming.
I mean, I don't know. There are some people that are going on the other way around on that. Because, like, on the one hand, it's like when you get a physical copy or when you buy a song off iTunes, you pay for it once. The band gets paid once off that transaction. Whereas streaming, they can get paid for each song over and over and over and over and over. You know what I mean?
That is true, but at the same time, if you look at the numbers in which your major platforms are paying out, Spotify, Pandora, Apple Music, they aren't high.
No, and I think the highest paying one is is YouTube or Facebook, one of those two, oddly enough.
Yeah. Like, I know that as far as, like, pure streaming platforms go, I know Apple Music is the highest. I don't know if YouTube's really considered as a pure streaming platform like that or not. I don't know. But I know that the demographic I saw was that Apple Music was the highest. But even still, it was, like, fucking 0.004 cents.
Per song?
Yeah. I think I seen somewhere to make $10,000 streaming on Spotify, your one song has to stream something like shit. It was in the millions.
Damn. So yeah, it's got to basically go viral.
Yeah.
And that's not a problem if you're Metallica and people want to hear Master of Puppets 10,000 times each. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's not a problem for that, but then entering into the streaming jungle, not being established, is not an easy thing to do.
And that was the counterpoint that I was going to bring up. I always try to kind of play devil's advocate with this kind of stuff. I think that affects the you have the real huge bands, like you said, Metallica, Slipknot, Lamb of God, Slayer, all those. And then you have the smaller bands that are, getting into it and dipping their toes in and whatever. They're not quite,
established,
recognized. But then there's that middle group where really most metalheads know these bands, but they still don't really, they're still not big.
Right, your Bodoms, your Devil Drivers, Hatebreed, I would even say, kind of like they don't, because they're not quite at that echelon of Lamb of God and Slipknot, because they kind of are, right, headliners.
Everybody knows them.
Like, and I'm talking festival headliners, you know what I mean? Not to say that Hatebreed couldn't, they of course have headline festivals, but like, but I think different levels.
Yeah, Hatebreed is a band where it's like, you're not going to find a non-metalhead that really like digs on Hatebreed that often,
right?
You know what I mean?
Outside of your hardcore kids, but still, that's something that Hatebreed's always had a problem with, is being pigeonholed into the wrong category and the fighting between subgenres.
Whereas you get a band like like Slipknot, and I could go to a college party per se, and everybody at least knows who Slipknot is.
Yes. Yes.
And probably has, probably could tell you a couple songs of theirs.
And even if they couldn't name them, if you put one on, they might, oh, yeah, I know this. Right. You know what I mean?
My point being, that middle section I think is what really gets affected by the streaming shit, because they are already out there. Yeah. The only way in which they're really going to get bigger is if, and I hate to use this term, if they sell out. And that's, more or less them creating a product that a widespread, even outside of metal, a widespread group is going to understand and know. You got something on your floor, bud.
Oh, we're good.
Thank you. I think you cherried off on the floor.
Yeah, I did. I grabbed it by accident.
Anyway, my point being, for
live.
Oh, shit. But for us, we are not out there yet. That's streaming, right. Especially if we can really, if we really do our PR right and we know how to get that product out, that streaming really helps, because that's just people listening a bunch. And now I think there's a turnaround, especially in these last few years, of people realizing that physical sales are a lot bigger of a help. Yeah. Financially.
Yeah.
So now we have a chance to make really good, really good solid fan base. I think the internet is good in that way, because I think back then there was a lot of bands that really weren't able to, it was either they were nothing or they were big.
Right.
Right. Like everybody knew them. I don't think there was as much of a middle ground. There wasn't a stagnant point. Mm-hmm. Where you hit a ceiling faster. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there wasn't a chance. Back then there wasn't a chance to really get your music and put it in somebody's face like that, like you can now with the internet.
Right.
Because I don't think.
That's a really good point. Yeah.
I mean, even again with us per se, when we did Blood Moon and we did the hallucinogenic anomalies video. Mm-hmm. We still, off of Facebook, that video's in the tens of thousands of views at least. So, we have our name out there for sure. Granted, It's not huge outside of Michigan, but it's out there. Mm-hmm. We would have never been able to do that before.
Right.
Nobody would have fucking known.
Yeah, the way to do that on that level before. You can cite bands like Dahlia or Cannibal in particular, where they was just no, we spent all of our time and money at Kinko's printing off flyers and plastering the world and playing every fucking show we could relentlessly. But then again, they also were in a world, same with Twisted Sister, they were all in a world mostly where there were still a lot of smaller venues and places where you could get a show 5 nights a week and fucking get a little bit of money each. Not a lot, but something. And that has all pretty much gone away, at least in our area.
That is a very good point. I didn't think about that.
So that that tape trading was that back then,
Yeah. Overall point being, because we always send a rabbit hole, don't we?
Yeah.
It's fun though.
Cheers,
brother. It's a lot of fun. Cheers. But point being that streaming is definitely a new beast that I don't think even now has quite been figured out yet by the business system.
I do agree with that. I don't think we've seen the end of its evolution yet.
I agree.
That's for sure. So who knows? Maybe it flips to something even better for the content makers.
I think really a big start is just platforms being forced to pay more.
Yeah,
because I don't think the bands make their money on touring. That's what it is.
Think about it. The first platform that has the library that an Apple Music or a Spotify has that does pay more, all of a sudden is going to be signing tons of exclusive deals with tons of all the artists, everyone that can.
Yeah. And I've thought about that too, actually. I've seen a couple of people talk about it. It interested me. I think logically, if people figure it out eventually, I think labels are going to become obsolete in the favor of these streaming platforms straight up signing bands and getting a better deal. You gotta think about it, man. If you could get a better deal with Spotify doing the work that a label does, because really at this point, a label is just publication, or is just publicity. You know, they're a publicity machine.
What about the does I don't know if this is true or not. Does the label hook you up with like the recording studio and the producer?
They have contacts, but as far as the money goes, it's something that they'll front it, but you were contractually obligated to pay that stuff back eventually through your album sales.
So it's a loan.
Yeah. Really the only thing, and I've got this from, I hate to be like, I know a bunch of people in the scene and whatever, like on the, you know, I know a bunch of big people, but we have worked with people. Mm-hmm. And we can, you know, to prove that, we'll talk more about that when we talk about the album. But really the only thing that a label I've seen does is, you know, like maybe they'll pay for like a music video. Big whoop. Maybe, and then it's like,
not that hard to do anymore on your own kind of thing.
Right, exactly. And then it's like you know, it's publicity because I think people are still under the guise that having that logo of that particular label on your record means you're something. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I have seen, you know, I have seen so many bands go through the mill of a record label where they do a contract and then they make it like 1 or 2 albums and then they don't do shit after that, and that's it. Yeah. You know, you think about all these big bands that there are out there, and there's still a good 70% of that label's roster that is just ever changing. You know. You don't believe me, just look at Metal Blade and how fast that changes.
Yeah.
Maybe not now because there probably isn't a lot of signing going on, but still, like, dude, it's ridiculous. They'll have a roster in which you've never heard, like, half of the bands.
Yeah.
And it's because these labels, you know, with the way that money is right now in the industry, these labels are pushing their Black Dahlia Murders, they're pushing their Cannibal Corpse, they're pushing their Between the Buried and Me's, all their big stuff, because they know they can make their money back on that.
Right.
They don't know if they can make their money back on Joe Schmo band that is rightfully good, but isn't out there. Right. And that's the problem. The labels are not investing their money as properly as they should. And I'm not saying I guess I'm gravitating that more towards big labels.
No, yeah, of course, because there are lots of smaller labels and stuff. But no, I get what you're saying actually, because then they're pushing the thing that they know they're going to be able to make them, and then they're not taking a chance on anything that might make them even more money in the long run. But it requires taking a chance, so they might invest a little. They might not get it all back as quickly as they want. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I knew a band that got signed. I booked them a long time ago in Kalamazoo when I was doing show booking, and they were signed. And I'll nix the label naming for now.
Okay.
They signed to a label. They were on. They
was
did
it a large
the record.
Or small label?
It was a large label that you and I would know easily. Did the first record, and did this tour. And that was all they did. That was it. And when I talked to them, they were just like, dude, it's just a thing where, you know, you don't really understand what you're signing onto. And they just want money, money, money.
Damn.
And it sucks. Because especially this label I was dreaming of ever since I was a little child signing to.
Damn.
It's just a bummer when you kind of look and realize. And I got that same story from...
More than one
person. And that's not... I hate to be like that, but it's not necessarily against the label. It's just how it is.
Right. It's kind of more about just the way the business works.
Yeah, but then you look at a band like Shadow of Intent, who is independent completely.
Okay.
They don't have any kind of label, and they're killing it way more than a lot of bands are. You know what I mean? Like they're doing headlining tours, and they're selling out like half the tour. It's awesome.
Somebody else fairly big and good that is totally independent too.
I know that Periphery went independent.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
I'm not even like a big fan of Periphery, but yeah, with their newest record, they went independent.
Nice,
and it worked out for them. I mean, shit. I mean, that's kind of a different situation where they were already really established, and they were a super hot thing on the scene when they came out. You know, it was pretty revolutionary.
Yeah.
But like, it's a tough call, man. You know. I think labels have their benefits, but they have a lot more negatives than positives to me.
At least right now, and part of that is due because of the way the business has gone.
Yes.
And that's a bummer. Because, exactly, there are still labels that we love, you know what I mean? Because they have given us so many fucking bands that we love, you know what I mean?
Exactly. It's tough. It's a really tough call because you just see the way that some of the labels handle their stuff, you know, behind the scenes and in public. You know, some of them are a little quiet about their stuff. Some of them, the discrepancies are really obvious, like Earache, for example. You know, like they've fucked over so many bands and it's been obvious, like Decapitated, for example. Decapitated, it's so obvious.
Right.
It's just tough. I don't think that the music industry... Maybe not the music industry as a whole, but at least the metal music industry has quite adapted on how to handle the streaming. You know, at least the bands haven't adapted to it. Well, it's tough.
Some of them, some of them are ahead of the curve, that's for sure. When you, like a lot of them that do the live streaming on like Twitch and stuff, like Trivium, Matt Heafy, I think he does a lot of it.
Matt Heafy does a shit ton of it, and he does it really well too.
Yeah,
I think that they're definitely. You're right. Some people have definitely figured it out.
Some people are, and now Twitch might not be for everybody, but there are tons of other avenues and ways to do. Like Jasta has the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
That's another way to do it. So there are some of them that are starting to get ahead of the curve, but you're right. It does seem to be moving at a slower pace in our genre than others.
Yeah, I think most of what it comes down to, and I can't quite remember the old saying verbatim, but if you're gonna do it, then you either got to be the best at it, or you either got to be the most clever. I think that holds a lot of truth because there are some bands that have overcome, a lot of obstacles and have risen to quite a big supremacy. Mm-hmm. And then there are bands that haven't had to, might not be the best, but they're really big because they're crafty about it. Mm-hmm. If that makes sense.
Yes.
For example, like Rivers of Nile, probably not getting the greatest deal out of everything being on a modern day contract with a record label. Mm-hmm. Who knows, but they're so huge now and so popular that now they can renegotiate and they're at a platform to where they can make a better thing for themselves if they wanted to. I don't know. I can't speak for them on that.
Right.
I don't know their situation fully.
Which is an example, kind of.
But then you bring up, like I said, Shadow of Intent. They're just super crafty with how they handle their stuff.
Right.
Really smart dudes. I don't know, man.
It is.
It's not black and white, that's for sure, as is anything.
It's fucking. It is. It's crazy how different you start to look at things the more you know about those different aspects of it, like the business side of the music industry. You're like, holy shit! Like, this is a lot different than I thought it would be.
And the sad thing is that it can really make you almost cynical if you let it.
Yeah, Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I think that's I think I have myself have dealt with that too. I think that it's, you almost start to question if you really want to go down the avenue of, if you want to be a big band, this is what it takes, because I mean, I want Recorruptor to be as big as it can possibly be, because
Absolutely.
all I want is to be able to financially be stable for me and mine, doing what I love.
Right.
But then there's so many variables that are thrown in there to where it's like, I really gotta be careful, unless, I gotta really be careful, or else I might do something that fucks everything up. It's really a game. It is a tough game.
Absolutely.
And we, even at our stage, we've learned that just by working on this record.
Hold on just one second. I wasn't expecting this, but I did.
What?
I did tell Aaron that if he got done, he could come by, and if we were still going, then he could be here.
Oh, absolutely.
And it sounds like he might be on his way.
Oh shit. Do you want to give it a pause until then?
No. We'll keep going.
And he can just hop in.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see here.
We'll deal with that when he gets here. Don't worry.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That'll be awesome.
Fuck yeah.
Absolutely, man. It's especially, man. Like the more you learn about it, the more the more easy it is to become cynical about it. That was a good way to put it. And it kind of sucks. But at the same time, at the end of the day, it's really just about, at the end of the day, metal is about metal. And you love metal because you love metal. And it's about love and the passion of it. And that's at the end of the day what's left, no matter what. So
you're 100% correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's the battle that I've had to overcome for myself.
Yeah.
It was almost like a thing where I really had to question why I do what I do. And I realized that if I did not do this, then I'd just be a shell of a man. I would just this is my purpose. I really believe that, and that's I would hope that nobody would take that egotistically. It's just literally, as long as I've been alive, it's really the one thing that I feel like I have truly excelled at. I've tried many things. I've tried to do many things, many extracurriculars, many hobbies, even in work. I can't say that I'm the greatest employee in the world. Sure, I try my hardest, but like when it comes down to it, the one thing that I really exceed at is Recorruptor, and that's always the way it's gonna be.
Hell yeah.
So
speaking of Recorruptor, swing it back.
Swing
it on back. You guys, as you said, you've been working on a new album.
Yep.
And trying to get movement, progress, things done during this time where you can't play shows because of the quarantine and everything. So you do have updates for us.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know how else to say it. Like, where are we at?
So today is June 6th, correct?
Well, this will probably come out on Monday, so we'll say today's June 8th.
Yeah,
We're recording on June 6th.
Right. Well, this will probably have to come, because I mean, if we're gonna share confidential information, it might have to come out a couple weeks from now.
That's fine.
I'm not sure.
That's fine.
Yeah.
No, just share whatever you want to share.
All right. Cool.
Yeah.
June 15th is going to be the album announcement.
Oh, awesome.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep.
All right. So that's just like a week from when this is coming out, pretty much.
Yep. It's today's Saturday, so a week and 2 days it'll be Monday, June 15th.
Yeah, a week from Monday. Hell fucking yeah.
Yep. I fucking let this thing go out. And since since we're here talking about this, and this will air here in a few weeks, then, or whatever it is, you know, I just want the album stuff to come out. That's all I care about if we're gonna talk about, you know.
Oh shit!
So, otherwise, this will be a really uninteresting conversation.
Ooh, so you want me to hold it back?
I would like you to hold the episode at least until after Monday, June 15th.
Okay.
Okay?
Done.
So that way we can talk about whatever we want.
Yeah.
Okay?
Oh, I can absolutely do that. Sure. Yeah. Oh, that's so exciting.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So Monday, June 15th, we're going to announce the album with the first single. And the first single is Tormented Egress is what it's called. We've been playing it for a while live. We did the video with Steven Richmond, who is the guy who did the hallucinogenic anomalies video.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. That'll come out with the album art, the track list, all the credits and stuff. Yeah, it's called The Funeral Corridor. That's what the album's called.
Funeral Corridor.
Yeah, Ooh. The Funeral Corridor. We did, I'll pull it up here in a second. I actually think I might have shown you before one of the rough drafts. I'm not sure.
You did. But this was back, I believe, in December.
Okay. Yeah, we changed it since then.
Okay.
So it's a little different. But
shout out to the album artist.
Might fuck this up because he's from a foreign country.
Okay.
I want to say Indonesia. I'm not sure. Sorry if I get that wrong. He goes by Joas Cabe.
Okay.
And he does a lot of black and white pointillism art.
Okay.
We found him. He's done a few pieces for us, mostly for merch, though. He did, if you have the zip-up hoodie and the art that's on the back with the sun and all the monsters that are going around it. Yeah, he did that one. And he did I'm pretty sure he did the art for the Dark Behemoth hoodie, the pullover hoodie. With the goat demon on the back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He did all that. I wish I could find this fucker. Here we go. So yeah, Funeral Corridor. It's announced June 15th, and the album's going to be out August 21st.
Woo!
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. So you have a release date. That's fucking awesome.
That is
and that would be, I mean, you know, we don't know if it happens or not, but if it does, that's right in time for Metal Fest, isn't it?
Yes, it'll be a week before.
Oh, that's awesome. Shit, dude. No, that is very different than the last one you showed me. Holy fuck.
And the last one that I showed you, we decided to use as the art that's going to be under the CD in the jewel case.
Because is it kind of round?
Big circle.
I was like, I remember a big circle thing, Yep. That's that's fantastic.
None of you get to see it. Fuck you. Yeah, August 21st, so we'll do 3 singles with it. 2 of them have videos, including Tormented Egress, and we hired a PR agent for this to help us, so we're gonna get a couple of the singles will be premiered through major websites. The second one's gonna be a Metal Injection release.
What?
Yeah, and we haven't.
That's huge.
Yeah, that's
huge.
Yeah,
like holy shit.
Yeah, and we haven't figured out the third one yet, but I know the guy's got connections with a lot of big places. I know. We've talked about places like Invisible Oranges, Metal Sucks, Decibel, stuff like those places.
Yeah.
Heavy Blog's Heavy. We don't know what's gonna happen. And then we're gonna do a playthrough video. We already did. We're gonna release a playthrough video of Tormented Egress. So
nice.
Seth and Caleb are gonna be ripping up that one. We did the recording and the mixing with Michael Stelma from Vestigial.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Broken Monolith Studios is what that's technically called.
Mm-hmm.
Did a fantastic job, man.
That's exactly kind of one of the questions I wanted to ask because you just played for me the single, And immediately wanted to know how you felt about the way it sounds, like the mixing, because I know that was something you didn't care for too much. That was a problem you had with Blood Moon, correct?
Yeah. And
I remember you talking about that a little bit.
Yeah, and that's something, you know, I don't mean to, like...
No.
Whenever I say that, I hope everybody understands there's no ill will feelings towards the guy that did it, Ryan. He was a fantastic guy. Most of, you know, like, we got along with him very well, and he was very kind, and he was a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong. Just, you know, certain things didn't work out with how the end production was, and that, you know, that's not his fault. I think that's also on us too, because we made some executive decisions that we probably shouldn't have made. And it was our first record, and you know, to be honest, when you really look back at it, it still sounds better than a lot of...
Was literally gonna say I was fucking just driving around the other day, and I had Shuffle going, and one of the tracks from that came up, and I was like, you know, this still does sound really fucking good though.
Yeah.
Like, at the same time, it sounds really good. Like,
yeah, like, it's a really tight played record for sure. You know, there's just a couple of you know, and we're, I think, to be honest, us as the musicians are gonna be harder on it than anybody.
For sure.
And that's just because the artist is always his own worst critic.
Absolutely.
You know, I just listen to Blood Moon, and I see a guy that, especially, you know, from a vocal perspective, was really dipping his toes into it, you know, and getting comfortable. That's what you see on there, because even though I had recorded in the past, it had been, when did we do that? 2017 was when that album came out, and we did it that earlier that year. Okay, so 2017. I hadn't recorded anything official in 6 years prior to that.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, it'd been a long time.
Yeah, because I'd been in bands before, but like the band I was in before, we did the one record, and then we kind of wrote it for a while, and then it still took a while to do Blood Moon.
Okay.
You know, because I joined the band in 2014, so it was still 3 years before we even did that record.
We're able to record it, yeah.
And now it's another 3 years before this one's coming out. And it's just, you know, that's a whole thing too.
Yeah.
As far as this new record goes, it stomps the fuck out of Blood Moon. Absolutely.
Fuck yeah.
From a musical and a production perspective. It's just, Mike really understood who we were, who we are as musicians and as people. He made the entire process so easy. Like, I was really scared about, I guess maybe scared's not the right word, but I had some anxiety about the way that things were going to go because of the, you know, I wasn't too comfortable with the way Blood Moon turned out.
Absolutely.
But he made it so simple and everything. And he has, you know, like a home studio. Like, we track drums in his basement, and the basement wasn't like super treated. It was, you know, super treated with foam or anything. It wasn't no professional thing. It was just live drums.
Hell yeah.
And, you know, I recorded my vocals with a fucking SM7B.
Nice.
And without any kind of mesh screen in front of it. I just held it up in a room.
Yeah. Just like, I just saw, like you were talking about earlier, those stay-at-home concerts. That's what fucking Trevor Sternad did on his vocal cover. What's
Dead Embryonic Cells?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That was sick.
Sepultura.
Sorry.
So good. So good.
Oh, yeah.
And then you'll see that, too. And I can't remember if it's Philadelphia or Walk With Me in Hell.
Oh, really?
When he makes Randy do the jog around the block.
Yep.
And then you see him actually do the recording. He's just got the fucking mic, and he's right there next to the computer.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
You know? Mikey's recording style is super simple, but he does not fuck around when it comes to making it sound good, dude. It's awesome.
Fuck yeah.
The drums are completely raw. Like, I mean, you heard that shit.
Sick. Yes.
Like, he really made everything pop on it.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's so good.
The production's 100s. Yeah. Does not sound. It sounds like it was done in a full-fledged studio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it doesn't sound like it was Pro Tooled or anything
Correct.
like that.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like there's any samples in there. It's literally just us playing. And that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
From the beginning, because not to toot my own horn or anybody else's in the bands, but I guess this is more gravitated towards my love for their playing, but they are really good. Josh is absolutely one of the most phenomenal drummers I've seen still. And Seth absolutely riffs and dude bangs the strings harder than anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And Alex is super fluent with not only the way that he controls the tone of the bass,
mm-hmm.
but like how unique he is with his passages. You know, they really stand out.
Yes, they do.
Especially when the rest of the fucking shit's just going. You know what I mean? Right. He really stands out.
He can still make a movement happen.
Yeah.
And he's outstanding.
Yep. So yeah, it was recorded and mixed by Michael Stelma, and it was mastered by Brody Utley, guitarist of Rivers of Nile.
Wow, dude! Holy shit!
Yep.
Holy shit!
Yep. I don't want to say. I don't want to like be out there and say that I've known Brody forever. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because really, we still don't know each other
mm-hmm.
like that. He's just a good guy, and I've been following Rivers of Nile ever since, even before their first record came out.
Wow.
Like, I got on the ball with them really early on.
Hell yeah.
And I doubt he would even remember, to be honest, because it was such a long time ago, and he probably meets so many people. But they came through town with Black Crown Initiate at the Loft, like...
Oh, shit.
2014 or 15, maybe. Huh. I can't remember. Maybe it was even earlier than that. It was the release tour for their first record, technically. Okay. It was on that cycle. And there was only like 30 people at the Loft. 30, 40 people. There wasn't a lot.
Wow.
But it was banging. Man, it was awesome.
Yeah, I bet. See the fucking... Wow.
So we hung out with those guys after the show for a couple hours, and I got to talk to Brody for a little bit, and he was a super chill dude. It was kind of cool because at the time I was just starting with Recorruptor, and I kind of had a little bit of a head, you know. I was just like, all right, I'm the shit. This is whatever. And talking to Brody really humbled me because I really looked up to his playing and, his band. And for him to act in the, the calm manner, cool, collective manner that he did, was like, that shit's really cool. Like, I would like to be like that for somebody else, I guess. So yeah, a few years went on, and, like, I had him on, like, Facebook. I never really, like, said anything to him or whatever. I just followed him. Then I went and saw him in Cleveland with Dying Fetus and caught up with him again. And, it was Dying Fetus, Thy Art Is Murder.
Oh, fuck.
Rivers of Nile. Shit. Sanction was the opening band. Christ. There's another one. I can't fucking remember it. There's a fifth band. Enterprise Earth. That's who it was.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah. So it was a good show for sure.
Yeah.
And, I caught up with him again after that. And, got to talking, and it was a little bit more. It was less me fanboying that time, like it was just cool and, calm, cool, and collected. And then shortly after we started working on the album, and I was like, hey, I know Brody does the stuff. What would you guys think if we, contacted him about mastering? And then I, shortly before we started doing the album, because that was March time. Yeah, so we would have just been entering the studio.
March 2019?
Yeah.
Okay.
They were headlining, so now they're, now they're on the with our Where Owls Know My Name.
Yep, I was gonna say that's when that album came out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So now
that's when they finally hit my radar.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be honest.
So now they're huge, big time. Yeah. Sanctuary is sold out.
Mm-hmm.
And, we got to talking a little bit at that show, and I, asked him what he thought about doing it, and, he didn't even hear any of our music, and he was just like, yeah, I'll absolutely do it. It was chill. He was chill the whole time, and he made it pop really good. It was at a point where he even gave it even more personality than it already had.
Nice.
He was great, and he's given us a lot of kind words, and he's always been very chill to talk with. Now it's like a thing where we actually kind of talk.
Mm-hmm.
Even unrelated to the business, we kind of talk, and it's it's cool. He's a really good dude for sure.
That's awesome, man.
He's even taught me a couple of things about the business, and I like his. I don't know. I guess for me to have known the guy for so long, not on a personal level, but just to, be an admirer of his art.
Absolutely.
It's really cool to be on that position.
To where you actually worked with him now.
Yeah.
That's fucking
not
unreal.
only that, but just to be able to talk to him like a common man.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, it's really cool.
That would be... Yeah, that would be another level. For sure. Yeah. That's awesome. So,
yeah.
Is this is this an independent release?
This is an independent release.
All right.
As of now.
For sure.
We still have a week but
I know you guys were shopping it around, I think, right?
We were talking about it, and the reason, because we have said that this album was going to come out for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, the album's been done since August.
Okay.
At least the actual media has been done.
So the recording.
Right, the actual recording.
Have been done for a year, and by the time it comes out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And we had a lot of, issues, which, we can dig into, too. You feel free to ask any questions whatsoever. We had a lot of issues that prevented us from putting it out, because we initially thought that it was going to be a thing where we got the album back and we would get the merch ready, and we would do, the videos, because even still the videos were done last year too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Really? Moribund wasn't.
Okay. So there was
Tormented Aggress was.
Okay.
Tormented Aggress got done in November.
Okay.
Moribund is just a video with me.
Oh.
Because, the Tormented Aggress is a full band thing, right? Mm-hmm. Moribund is a little bit more of an artsy thing. It's got a narrative to it, and then I do my vocals with it. So there's no band playing in it. But we did that real early this year.
Yeah.
So there was just a lot of unforeseen circumstances that were preventing us from releasing the album when we initially wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
But man, I had, as much as it frustrates me that we've been sitting on this album for so long, I'm glad we did, because now we're absolutely prepared for anything that comes our way.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
That's
we've
awesome.
had a lot of time to think about it, a lot of time to plan.
Yeah.
Super cool.
So you turned it into a positive then.
Ultimately. Yeah, absolutely. We're really
That's
stoked
awesome.
that it's coming out, and we really believe in this record. I think that we really are going to make some waves with this one for sure.
I think that first track you showed me alone is going to fucking do some shit, because that video was sick. It's really sick. I like, it's simple. when you think about it, like what goes on in the video, really, you know, it's kind of simple, but it's fucking engaging the entire time.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I like that. I like it in a world of fucking, you know, where all we go to the movies to see is Avengers and Godzilla and gigantic spectacles. I like it sometimes when just things are just feel kind of more simple, more like ground level.
Listen, man, if you give us Marvel money, then we'll make a Marvel music video.
That would be awesome.
No, we thought about that too. You know, we were talking about, because Hallucinogenic Anomalies was it was a band shot, and it was also the narrative with it. There was a story to it, sure.
Yeah.
When we talked about what we wanted to do for music videos, we had some ideas, and Josh was really adamant on, fuck that, let's just shred. We're just gonna do it like that.
I like that.
And it ended up coming out really cool. Yeah. Because it's still a dark video. It's dark shots, but the way that the especially like you mentioned, the purples and the greens coming in like that.
Yes.
It almost, and the way that Steven edited the the actual quality of the shot makes you think of some 80s and 90s slasher stuff.
Ooh, that's a good pull. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. Yeah, I could definitely see that though.
And the cool thing is that will revisit in the Moribund video too.
Nice.
With the narrative, because it's also the same thing.
Is there okay, two things. One, another thing that it kind of felt like watching it with the different colors. It's almost like when you're in the crowd and you're looking at one band member and then you look at another band member and the lights change. It's kind of like a live feel to the raw just shredding.
And that's what we wanted to go for too.
So that's fantastic.
Yeah.
But lyrically or anything like that, is there any concept to this overall album?
Yep.
Or it's a concept album?
It is.
Awesome.
Yes.
What does it have? What's the story?
It's so it's a little I'm gonna try and keep this as simple as possible because it's a little long-winded, and I think it's really not going to sink in until somebody actually has the lyrics in front of them.
Right.
I wanted to write a story that was it was fiction based, but it also had stuff that you could take away from it, like personal, like your own little idea of what the story's trying to convey to your personal life, I guess. Because I've always been like that. I've always tried to, I hate to sound, not to be a teacher, but like to be an influencer, I guess, in that kind of way. And with Blood Moon, it was just a lot of, songs about gore and it was almost like 1,000 Ways to Die, the album. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's good. I like
death metal. This one's a little bit different. So it follows, and let me 9 tracks, okay?
Okay.
And the first one is the title track, The Funeral Corridor, and that sets the stage. It's a man that just lost his wife or his partner. It's not really established that it's his wife, but it's his partner.
Okay.
It's his, it's his
significant other. Yeah.
Yeah, it's his true love. And, so this man knows that, or this man pretty much throughout the story, starting with the title track, goes into this other world, if you say, like the middle in between life and death, I should say. Purgatory is a good way to put it. Yeah. Okay. He goes through this purgatory to try and rescue his wife and bring her back to the living, because he can't live without her. It's a selfish thing. And it there are songs like Tormented Aggress talks about him going traveling through a land in which there's many monsters that are trying to, take him away and put him in death, instead of purgatory. this is where you kind of start to see where I was getting influenced by Dante's Inferno, I guess. Right. It's kind of like a 7 layers deal.
Okay.
In a way, but very loose.
All right.
So there's a couple of songs like that where he goes through a couple different layers of purgatory. The first being a monster-ridden land, the second being an actual setting of purgatory itself. With souls trapped in purgatory. Yeah. That's Souls of Limbo is what that song is called.
Okay.
Nice. Just trapped in there. And then there's a point in which it's just nothing. It's just him and his mind. Mm-hmm. Going through how purgatory is changing the man. And there's some stuff underlying in there with the like the 7 deadly sins. I tried to incorporate in that too. So at the beginning he's talking about lust. He's fallen to lust, and at the end tormented aggress. It talks about murder.
How? And
murder's not the right word, but
I know what you mean. What are they? Lust, greed. Oh shit!
I'm gonna look this up because I should know this. I wrote a fucking story about it. I promise this makes a lot of sense at the end. Oh, there's my porn tabs.
Fear. I don't. Shit. How am I know them like by heart usually. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Jack Daniels, you've done it again.
Shit.
Envy, lust, greed, fear, envy. That sounds right.
Lust, gluttony. Greed.
Sloth.
Wrath. That's the one I'm looking for.
The
Wrath.
Lamb of God album.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Wrath. Yeah, that's more wrath. His dealing with his feelings of anger, rage, and hatred, overcoming him, and then Souls of Limbo is kind of not really dealing with any of that. It's just a more scenic thing. And then Blessed Obsession talks about his lust for something that he can't have.
Nice.
So that's the 4th track. 5th track is Moribund, and that's another
Video
kind
song.
of that's the 3rd single. Moribund.
Oh no, that'd be the playthrough. Or no.
That's the video.
It is a video.
Yeah, it's a narrative video.
Hell yeah, that's a narrative video. Hell yeah.
Yep, and that's more of just a little gruesome piece that I wrote dealing with those monsters from Tormented Aggress coming back and fucking his ass up. But then the 6th song, Watchflies in the Temple of Aspiration, is that one's really detailed for sure. That's where he actually comes to the place where he finds his wife in purgatory.
Okay.
And realizes that she's not the same. She's not the same person as she was. She's already accepted that death is happening. Mm-hmm. She's crossing over to that plane, of which she's not going to come back, and that's it. Whereas he has not accepted that.
Right.
I think that's the underlying thing. And eventually, in his wrath and lust, takes her anyway, and removes her from the cycle of death. So he's kind of just, sitting there, even though she don't want it.
Right.
She just wants to move on.
Right.
She wants to find that peace.
Essentially, he was too late.
Mm-hmm. And she eventually decides that, she can't go back. She knows she can't go back. It's not possible, even though he is blinded by that fact. So she ends up killing herself in purgatory, leaving her in purgatory forever, just to get away from him because he's such an awful guy.
Damn.
This
is a tragedy.
He's turned into such a monster that she can't live with it, and it's literally, it's affecting her in a negative way. So instead of just accepting death, because she can't go to death because he won't let her, and she can't go back to life because it's just, they don't work that way. So she ends up killing herself and leaving herself in purgatory. And then at the final moments of the album, you know, once this man is so different and, you know, he's such an evil man now compared to what he was in the story, the first of the story.
Yeah.
You know, he gets so angry with God that, you know, he thinks he's better than him. You know, he thinks he's an all powerful being because he's been able to do all this. But now he's angry with him because he can't have what he wants, and God tells him essentially, and that's this is the purpose of the story, is that you have to accept loss, because if you don't accept loss, it's going to overtake you and turn you into something that you don't want to be.
He became worse than the monsters that were trying to get him.
Exactly.
Wow.
That's a really shitty way of explaining it because it's just on the spot. But I just wanted to convey, because I have dealt with loss in the past, and I know many people deal with loss and do not accept it very well at all.
Mm-hmm.
That
it's a hard thing to deal with.
That if you don't learn to accept that stuff, is that?
It might be.
Yeah. If you don't learn to accept death as a part of life, then it can make you into an absolutely horrible human being.
Oh. We got movement. Oh, shit.
Look at that.
What up?
Hey, feller.
Here, why don't we, why don't you slide that under to me?
Oh, yeah.
Bring the chair over here, Aaron.
Looks so different since I was last year.
Shit. Come on in.
Yep. You got it under your side of the table.
Good work. Hold on.
Shit. I'll let you get acquainted real quick. I'm gonna take a quick leak.
All right. You remember where it is?
Yes, I remember.
I do.
Hi, I'm well. How are
Good to
you?
see you.
Good, nice to see you too. I'll see more of you
Hang
here
on.
in a second.
Real quick, can you lift up the front 2 feet of that?
No. Oh shit.
There we go. There we go. There we go. Aaron's here, everybody.
Oh,
Let's get you on camera.
oh shit.
Here, I'm just gonna fucking fuck this arm. Yeah, we are rolling right now. Mine probably. How's your day been, buddy?
Check, check.
You're on. Oh wait, hold on. I gotta hit. Yeah.
Hey. There it is.
There you go. All right.
What up?
Yes, your microphone is good. Aaron's back in person in the crib for the first time in I don't fucking know how long. Here, have some ice.
Oh yeah.
Some Jack Daniels. Fuck.
You knew I was coming today.
Haha. How's your day been, buddy?
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't think I'd be seeing everybody in one day.
Right? You're going back to. You're even going back to work soon.
Yeah, starting like training stuff.
For the new like protocols and situations and everything. Yeah.
In the new world.
In the new world. It's getting fucking crazy.
Like the setup.
I mean,
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
it's worth a shot. You know what I mean? I figured. I didn't really know what I was doing when I set this up earlier, but I was like, "Fuck, I got to do something. At least give it a try." Try to be on camera actually in person, so that way we didn't have to just end that when we,
Yeah.
came back. Luckily, we don't, because this seems so far.
Yeah.
As far as I can tell, everything is working. As far as I can tell.
Oh, you guys only been going for a little bit?
Yeah, we've been going for a minute. Yeah, we had a lot to talk about. We kept getting sidetracked though on stuff. But Clint has been. We have decided, just so you know, we have decided that this episode will not be released until after June 15th, because that is when they are going to do their album announcement.
All right.
And so he is dropping album details
Oh shit.
that cannot be out until after that. So this won't be out until after that.
Oh yeah. Good deal.
But
Yeah, we were actually just finishing up, so. No.
It's only been going for an hour already. Like hour 20.
Yeah, you know how it is. I'm full of myself. I like to talk about myself. No. Oh, shoot. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers, man.
Oh, my God. This is awesome. It has been way too long.
Mm-hmm. Oh, got the Coke, too.
Little chaser.
Hey.
Something.
Mm-hmm. So, how's it going, buddy?
Good, man.
Good. It's nice to see you again.
Yeah, likewise, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it was, God, last, end of the year list, I think.
Yeah.
Last time I saw you.
Yeah.
So.
Damn, so it's been even longer for you than you. Damn. Jesus.
Yeah, because you didn't come. No, you weren't at Oaks Fest, were you?
I wasn't.
Oh, yeah.
It's all right. I just moved here in Lansing, so we'll hang out more.
I heard that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It'll be fun.
Saved. We're a hero.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Fuck, that's something I forgot about.
Yeah, we didn't really talk about
Saved
that.
a goddamn building full of fucking people.
Yeah, that was fucking...
Dude.
I mean, I wouldn't make it sound that crazy, but...
You want to know who else has a similar story? Is fucking, do you know who Bert Kreischer is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
people tell me I'm like Bert Kreischer
Are you
because of my
serious?
shirtless shit.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay.
And
See,
because I'm a goof.
Fair enough.
I don't know.
Fair enough. But yeah, no, he fucking, one day he was like walking by, like on a walk, and like smelled smoke and saw it coming and saw nobody doing anything. And he's like, I'm the first one to realize this. So he just started knocking on doors. But yeah, what's your story, man?
Yeah. No, a couple Saturdays ago, I went to go get a pack of cigarettes from the gas station, stepped outside of the apartment, and I smelled something a little funny. I said, that ain't right. So that ain't right. And then I went up front and I saw the smoke coming from, so it's like duplex house, technically. We were in the back, and there's a front apartment, and then there's an upstairs apartment above the front.
Okay.
So we don't have anything above us. We're just connected to the front apartment. Right. So I went up front and I saw the balcony for the upstairs apartment. Had a little bit of smoke coming out of it, not too much, but I noticed it, and I said, "Oh Lord Jesus, it's fire!"
The only times you get to say that.
Yeah.
Do something about this.
Yep, I've been waiting so long. Yeah, no. I mean, it wasn't that much smoke, but I don't fuck with that, so.
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
everybody. I ran to the back, got Crystal out, grabbed the cat out, and went up front and got that tenant out, and he was like, "Hey, buddy," and I was like, "Dude, there's a fucking fire, get out!" He was like, "What?" And I was like, "Look," and I looked up, and the flame was already coming out from the floorboard up there.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and he was like he didn't even know, and that shit was right over his head.
That's fucking insane.
Yeah. So I got them all out, called the fire department. They were there in like 5 minutes, but it didn't take it like 3 minutes for that whole upstairs to go up and smoke.
Fuck.
Yeah. So it was like 3 hours. Well, it was really only like an hour and a half of them actually battling it.
Mm-hmm.
And then all the stuff that I don't know if you've ever seen any kind of situation like that with the fire department handling something like that, but there is a lot of securing of the actual place to make sure that it's safe to enter, because we still had to get our perishables out of the fridge. We had to get our clothes and whatever. Yeah. So they let us in and got that kind of stuff. Luckily, there was no fire or water damage to our apartment. It just got filled up with smoke, but even still, ServPro ended up giving us some cleaning solvent to throw into the laundry.
Mm-hmm.
So we just took everything to a laundromat and filled up like 12 fucking washers of clothes.
Yeah. Yep.
And
that makes sense.
Yeah, and I mean, shit. It don't.
What I would have done.
I mean, this was in the fire. It don't even seem like it was never in a fire. Almost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we only lost a couch and a bed, but we got some helpful people around. Our parents ended up giving us a king size bed that they had. So technically an upgrade. We were sleeping
Upgrade.
on a queen, so
Upgrade.
yeah. And then my buddy came through and sold me a couch for cheap. So
Nice. And like you said earlier, you were moving anyway. So
yeah, we closed down our house 4 days later. So
Yeah.
That's like super lucky.
yeah,
kind of works out.
yeah. So we ended up getting like a fucking week vacation stay at my parents out in the country, and
Nice.
yeah. Well, I mean, it sure didn't feel like a vacation. I mean, it was nice. It was nice to be there, especially living in the city for so long.
Yeah.
I kind of forgot what it was like to just be able to wake up with no sound.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And just be able to go out on the porch at 7:30 in the morning and just look at the scenery.
Yeah.
It was nice.
It's very nice.
Yeah,
Yes,
but
yes.
every waking moment we were doing something, either getting the rest of the shit out of the apartment, or I don't know, I was working with my dad helping him out because I'd hate to be that kind of guy to just sit there and just
Yeah. Absolutely.
sit on my ass while he's doing something.
Yeah. Feel that.
Yeah. So we're here in Lansing now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Where
It was
at?
fun.
I guess it. You answer me later. I guess.
We can
Just
talk
like-
about that off
Yeah,
air.
relative. I guess.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
it's South Cedar area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good
That's
neighborhood.
awesome, man.
Yeah, considering we were living across from a meth house for 3 years, it's nice to not have to
Not have to worry about that so much.
constantly
Yeah.
look outside and be like, wonder what they're fucking doing today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's almost like, what am I trying to think of? I can't. Never mind.
Plus apartment living's like, I did it for like a year and a half.
Yeah.
I just was never a fan of it.
No, it's not very much fun, is it?
Not really.
Yeah. Our landlords
No, I'm not a
were
fan either.
awesome, so
That helps.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
definitely
It
helpful.
wasn't so much that it was like a bad spot or whatever. It was just I didn't like having like paper thin walls and
No.
like somebody because I was on the second floor.
Oh,
so it's
yeah,
like
dude.
Yeah.
people across and then underneath. It just,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like
Yeah, with the way that our apartment was set up, with us being in the back, we shared we shared the driveway with the meth house. And the meth house, like if we were in my bedroom, the meth house was as close as the corner of the basement.
Damn.
well,
Yeah.
Damn.
And our walls were paper thin, and they decided, there's just people in and out all night.
Mhm.
So just fucking, you know what I mean? Some fucking iced up weirdo is out in the middle of the rain at 4 o'clock in the morning digging gravel in the fucking driveway for some reason. Like, what? He's like, gotta clean up the dog shit, man. I'm sorry. I'm like, now? For real?
was
Right
it already
now.
there to begin with? Probably not.
Probably not. Yeah. No, there probably was. That dog took big shits. I know, because they were in my lawn.
Oh, Jesus.
It's usually how you can tell.
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh yeah.
Surprise for you.
Congrats.
Yes, thank you. It's
Pretty awesome.
yeah, we're definitely happy for sure. The place is nice. And I'm gonna fuck it all up with house parties and no. No, we're not gonna do that. Maybe one day a basement show will happen, but
Oh.
I have to figure
I was
something
just
out.
gonna say, hey,
Yeah.
maybe like a barbecue this summer or something, but
Right.
you go straight to a basement show might happen.
no,
someday.
I mean I'm absolutely down for a barbecue. They the old owners left a charcoal grill. So
Nice.
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 yeah. Trying to get those weenies. Weenies and burgers.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go full dad mode for sure. Just push mower with a fucking Coors Light in my hand, and yeah.
Yep.
Fuck yeah, man. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That is awesome. Glad to hear that. Glad to hear that you like the new place so far too.
Yeah, absolutely. It's cool stuff.
So yeah, new house, new album.
New album, August 21st.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
August 21st with a single premiere of with an album announcement and first single June 15th, Monday, June 15th.
Damn.
So like
So
a
a
week
week
and
from
2
Monday.
days.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty soon.
Yeah.
Check him out. So can you show him the album artwork real quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
That'd be awesome.
As I feel like we talked about like style a little bit before. I don't think I've seen the finished.
Yeah, the one that we worked on before, we actually discovered this when I showed him, but it's the one that I showed you before is now going to be the inlay of the jewel case, so it'll be under the CD.
Okay.
But we got this new one totally commissioned. So still can't see it. Fuck you.
Oh fuck yeah.
And there is, so yeah, that was another thing. So there is going to be a CD release with like a CD booklet. With
there will be physicals. Yes.
Is there going to be lyrics in the booklet?
Yes.
Nice.
Yes, and yeah, because the Blood Moon one we just did it was just a 4-panel, with the front art, and then there was the credits on the back, and then the two middle pages was all the lyrics condensed into one. But this time we're gonna do a bigger booklet, so
hell yeah,
because I definitely wrote a fucking dictionary for this.
Oh,
yeah.
I like the old school look of it.
Yeah,
cool.
Definitely, and I think it was cool that we just decided to just do the logo with no title on it, because it's like, I don't know. To me, I look at it and it's just like, you want to know more.
Yeah, that was kind of like it's because the other one for Blood Moon was really like busy. It seemed like there's a lot going on and stuff, and this one is like it's striking because it's like it's really condensed down and kind of like there's not a whole lot of detail into it. But the more you look at it, the more you kind of see in it.
Right? Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, the point is made very clear initially, but there is a lot of underlying detail, and that's the cool thing about pointillism. I definitely like his artwork for sure.
Really good.
Where have I feel like I've seen that style before. Is there has he done any others or just
not any big stuff that I know? Okay. No. Yeah,
it's just that style, I think.
Yeah, like he was, he's foreign as well. He's like I told him I want to say Indonesia, but I'm not sure. I've never dug into it myself, but
yeah.
He, we get a lot of those people being in a band. You get a lot of people from overseas, especially in those countries, that hit you up all the time about, hey, man, I've got artwork.
Yeah.
Hey, man, you got to buy some of this artwork. It's real cheap. It's real good. And it all looks, it all looks the same. It's all really just gore-oriented. And, it's not really, like, that unique. And whatever, and it's just annoying because I get them all the time, and it's never appropriate marketing. It's always so blunt. Yeah. It's always like, hey man, you get this, and I've never heard anything from them ever, and it's just like, man, you gotta sell me a little harder than that.
Right?
Yeah.
But this guy contacted me and was like mega professional about it. He was like, hey, we even chatted just as people before he even said anything about his artwork.
Oh, that's cool.
He was like, I really like your guys' stuff, I think, you guys seem like really interesting dudes. I don't know if you ever need any kind of stuff, but I'd be willing to help you out and whatever. He didn't even send me any, examples or nothing, and, blow up 60 photos of art on my stuff. You know what I mean? And I checked it out, and I was like, holy shit, this guy is cool. And ever since then, we've been working with him with our merch pieces for probably, I think the first time we bought something from him was that Dark Behemoth hoodie.
Hell yeah.
Something like that.
Maybe that was what I
was for a while.
Yeah, maybe that was what I saw familiar, because you had a few that were designs like you say that I'm thinking of, that the one priest looking on the white shirt, whatever it was.
Yeah, we've been working with him for quite a while now, and he's been awesome every step of the way, for sure.
Hell yeah.
Yep. Additionally, other than that, we've got a whole, you were talking about the physicals, but we've got a whole pre-order set up too. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 different options for t-shirts. Maybe it's 3. We're doing one for Tormented Aggress. We've got one for the final track. We've got one for we've got the album cover on a t-shirt. Then we've got basketball shorts are going to come out with the logo on them. We've got another pullover hoodie that he designed.
Sick.
Wall flags are coming with the album art, so that would be cool.
Yes, Clean as fuck.
Yeah. And there's something else too. I just can't remember what it is. For the life of me, cannot remember what it is.
Is this going to be Bandcamp release?
Yes.
All that stuff's going to be on Bandcamp? Hell yeah.
Yeah, doing the same thing, pre-ordering through Bandcamp. That seems to be the best way to do it.
Nice.
Yep, so all that'll be announced here pretty soon.
How long is the album?
I gotta remember now. Because it was actually 10 songs. It's 9 now.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, with the Dustin departure.
Okay.
He had a song on there that was completely his.
Mm-hmm.
And we decided to cut it because it wasn't, I don't know, for personal reasons. It didn't end up sitting very well with the rest of us.
Real.
I don't know. The other couple that he had, we also had our hand in as well. And they turned out, they fit in really well with the story. Mm-hmm. That one was kind of that other song we didn't really end up digging too much, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
How's that whole thing
I know
going? I'm sure you guys talked about it already.
What's that?
Just the new guitarist, all that.
Actually,
we
haven't.
have it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well,
so good call.
Haven't talked about Caleb or Dustin.
He was supposed to be here. Caleb was supposed to be here tonight.
Yes.
But he definitely need to get him out. I still remember you guys being like, "Oh, you need to talk to him about conspiracy theories and ghosts and Bigfoot."
Yeah.
Like,
He definitely digs on that shit. He ended
Very
up getting some things got mixed up with his
That's fine.
Yeah,
We'll get him on
schedule. But where was I at? I know it's at least it's somewhere between 45 and 55 minutes.
Okay.
Somewhere in that range. I wish I
Nice.
could tell you exactly, but
that's fine.
it's along there.
Okay.
I can tell you Moribund is the shortest song at 3.5 minutes, so that makes it the shortest song that we've done as a band.
Oh wow. Okay.
Otherwise, the rest are 5+.
Does this album also contain the longest song you've done as a band?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. We got close.
All right.
Because The Sun Drinks the Blood of the Earth was the longest song on Blood Moon Ads. 8+.
Okay.
I believe. Maybe that's not correct, actually. I don't know. But the longest one on the new record is just under 8 minutes. So.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty sure that I'm correct on that, though. I don't know. Yeah, it's maybe I'm not correct, actually. Sun is just 6 seconds shy of 8 minutes.
Oh.
So who knows? It'll be close.
So it might be a longest song.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's got a lot of different flavors, that's for sure. Because I showed you the one, and I'll show you after we're done too, the single. But you mentioned that one definitely felt a little bit Cattle and Dahlia influence.
Oh, dude, it's hard.
Yeah. But it definitely varies heavy from that. We've had people, because we played a few of these songs live already, we've had people say that Souls of Limbo is almost deathcore-ish, which I am not fully sold on myself. I think it's just more slow death metal.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's definitely our slowest.
Mm-hmm.
That's for sure.
I always like that when you play it live.
Yeah.
The first couple times you hear it.
Souls of Limbo.
Yes.
Yeah, it really picks up, and I just fucking toilet bowl it. But the title track is really almost like it starts off really Black and Death, like almost Speed at a point, but then there's like a thrash part, like there's a total like. You feel like when you're watching like a Pantera or Metallica video and everybody's just fucking doing the thrash stomp in the pit and whatever during the one part, like like the one part in Blackened. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like that.
Yeah.
It's like that. So there's definitely the thrash influence in there too. There's the and then, you know, some of the songs are really super techy. Some of the songs have some really quiet parts to it. Some of them, and then one of the songs is even kind of, it's kind of got a dad rock riff to it. I hate to be like that, but it's you know, it's definitely a chugger for sure. And then it gets really sad, and it's yeah. I don't know. And then it pops off with the last song that I wrote. I was pretty proud of that one actually.
Hell yeah.
Because I do writing too in the band.
In terms of like musical aspect of it,
yeah,
as
the
opposed
guitar.
to just okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. With the writing of this record, it was 3 of the songs was primarily Dustin, 3 of the songs were primarily Seth, 3 of the songs were primarily me.
Nice.
So I did the title track, Souls of Limbo, and the final song. Or no, that's not correct. Souls of Limbo was a Seth and mine. That was the only one that we kind of collaborated on.
Mm-hmm.
But I did the 8th track as well. Then Dustin did 3 tracks. One of them we didn't end up keeping. And then Seth did the other ones.
Pushing a little bit creatively on this one, a little bit further than what was on the first one.
Absolutely, yeah. I think that we, but at the same time, I think the sound itself, like flowing through the album, is more clear.
Okay.
I think that the way, because with Blood Moon, a lot of those songs were written even before I had joined the band, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Dustin started really early, and how do I explain this? It was like, it's technically 8 tracks with an intro on that record, on that one.
Yeah.
And he had already done, I think 5 of those songs are his.
Okay.
And 3 of them are mine.
Okay.
Seth hadn't, all the songs were written by the time Seth joined up, even though he did have his hand in Sepulchre and Sun, and Behemoth too, I guess. But yeah, so now it's just kind of like a point where that was a lot of Dustin focus.
Yeah.
And this one is more split up between everybody.
Real.
Yeah.
So more collaborative than just
I wouldn't even necessarily say collaborative, because it was a kind of a thing where we all just wrote the stuff, and because when we write, we take an idea and we go as far as we can with it, and if we need help finishing it, then we bring it to the band.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
So, which that's already changing. We're already writing. You know, obviously we've been bored.
Yeah.
You know, we haven't done shit this whole pandemic, so there's already been writing, and you know, the last few weeks we've been jamming and you know, writing stuff in the same room. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, Funeral Corridor. That's what the album's called, by the way. The Funeral Corridor.
Oh, that's a sick title.
Yeah,
I like
Super
that.
sick.
Definitely a thing where we kind of just brought it in to the band to polish and finish up, I guess.
Okay.
Do you guys like write with, or I guess for you specifically, like, do you write with drums in mind, or do you like?
Yeah, that's I might get that wrong because I obviously can't answer for them. You know.
Yeah.
I don't really fully knows what goes on in Seth's brain. I don't think Seth knows what goes on in Seth's brain sometimes, but
I guess more just like in terms of how you write stuff.
When I write, I write with everything in mind, even the vocals. You know,
Yeah.
When it comes down to the actual writing of the guitar riffs, I just want to write sick guitar riffs, don't get me wrong. But when it comes down to the structuring, I think that it's important to be able to trade the spotlight, you know, like to put emphasis on, you know, other instruments when it needs to happen.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think that's come out really well, especially for like Sun, for example. you know. Definitely chock full of sick riffs for sure. But every person shines in that song. Because there's great guitar soloing, and Josh definitely, you know, brings the heat, and you know, Alex definitely had a great moment in there too. And you know, even with the vocals, there's definitely some key memorable parts in there that kind of fit right along with the guitars. I think that's just the way I think. I want everything to pop, so I write with everything in mind.
Just
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because it frustrates me, especially like every genre. You know, there's bands like, and I hate to do this. I hate to make myself look like a fucking deathcore hater all the time. But I think it's really obvious that a lot of deathcore bands, not all of them, but a lot of deathcore bands just write with the vocalist in mind. And as a vocalist, I fucking hate that.
I've had that thought before listening to certain things. It's like primarily like vocal driven.
Yeah,
you can tell too. Like
that.
it's
yeah. It's like, but I mean, if it works, it works, and if they're having fun with it, have fun with it. Shit, but yeah, don't make me fucking like it. I just think that when I listen to those kind of bands, it's like, sure, you're dope, that's awesome, but let me hear the other stuff shine too. You know. That's like, for example, a great example too, and it's it's really relevant. Slaughter to Prevail.
Yes.
Fucking their stuff previous. Alex Terrible has always been great, but I can't ever say that I really cared for the instrumentation on the stuff previous. Like it was, it banged, like it had the breakdowns, and it was fast when it needed to be, but it was never really like anything that wasn't done before. Yeah. Demolisher, on the other hand, I don't know if you've heard that yet.
I haven't, no.
Oh my, we might. I wish we could just live stream you watching it for a reaction.
Yeah.
Oh boy,
Oh,
that's a song where they really focused on everything.
Yeah.
It's really awesome. Like the guitar riffs are fucking cool, and they really pop when they need to. Alex, holds back to let that shine, and the drums are fucking pounding through the whole time.
Yeah.
It's awesome,
that was one of the first things I noticed about it. Was like it just musically it just did more than the last couple, and also like I think their EP was a little bit better than the full length, even though the full length had some really strong songs on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It seems like they're kind of going back to that sort of style. Which
I
is
agree.
Cool.
I definitely agree. Cool stuff. I love that song.
That's gotta.
That's good. I know it's really early to say, but that's got to be one of the fucking best deathcore songs I've heard in a long time.
It's up there.
Like it's really good.
Yeah.
It really is fucking good. And it's not just because of that fucking Russian devil shit that he does in the middle.
Yeah.
Oh my god. You will listen to this before I leave.
Already this year has had some fucking releases where you go, holy shit, that might be one of the best. I don't know if we're going to get much better this year, but then you look at the roster of what's coming still possibly.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, we might.
Yeah. I've definitely had quite a few releases on my list here that are good. Actually, not as much as last year, but that's for obvious reasons.
Actually, fuck. Speaking of, what did you think of Verminous? I've not asked you about this yet.
It's my number 2 of the year.
But where?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, I fucking love it. Yeah. See, the thing is, I love Nightbringers too.
Me too.
And I love all the Black Dahlia's records.
Mm-hmm.
I love them. Absolutely. I think they each have their own charm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I hate it. I fucking hate it when people say that they're just doing the same album over and over again. They're clearly not.
Not.
They're clearly not.
They're not. You're not listening to the music if that's what you think. Really.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Especially with the last 2 records having Brandon Ellis in the band, it does not sound the same as Nocturnal.
Yeah.
No,
it doesn't.
No.
But like with Verminous, I think that. I mean, I will agree with the naysayers one point in that they didn't necessarily take a lot of chances before, or like in the last few records. I think Nightbringers brought that back a little bit, just with having Brandon in the fold and writing some. And I did like that record, but this one stomps Nightbringers for me.
Yeah.
And it's just because of the fact that Brandon is more familiar with the band, and this is the album in which they've taken the most risk on anything regarding the music since Ritual.
I would agree with that.
You know, because like Everblack, solid follow-up to Ritual. You know, it brought a lot of those qualities that made that album great, with a little bit more of an ominous feel to it. And then Abysmal, you know, was cool. It definitely had some, had a lot of fast songs on it for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Even though it's not really my favorite record of theirs, it's still, it's still solid. It has a lot of great songs on it, and probably some of Trevor's most emotional lyrical work.
I love the lyrics on that album.
Yeah. But this one, man, dude, it just brought back those standalone amazing riffs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, the songs are really easy to tell apart. And it's just, it goes so many directions.
Yep.
In such a short time, too.
Yeah, it's very short.
Yeah, it's
All things
awesome.
considered. Yeah.
6 minutes, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
So good.
Yeah.
I love it.
I think it made me appreciate and enjoy Nightbringers more, because I liked it so much. Like, I just went back to it, and like, just, I don't know, things and like songs that didn't really hit me the first time, like the first, while that it was out, like, kind of going back and be like, fuck, like,
I'll have to check that out again too, because I haven't listened to it in a while. And Nightbringers was super rad when it first came out, and don't get me wrong, it's still rad, but I saw that band 4 times on that cycle.
So
And almost every single time was the same set list.
Yeah.
Like,
fair enough.
They play the whole album
Yep.
and then a few other songs sprinkled in, and I'm just like,
yeah.
All right, you guys are still awesome, but...
And it's cool, to do that for a tour, but, like, I don't know, I've been noticing a lot of bands, like, the last 2 times that we saw Children of Bodom and the last few times that Hatebreed has toured, they changed the set list every night. So I've been noticing a lot of bands doing that.
Yeah.
Lately, which I think is kind of a cool move.
I also think to their benefit, though, with Brandon being the new guy, they probably haven't, because he joined. His first tour was the Unhallowed 10-year anniversary.
Oh, wow. Oh, shit.
So
okay.
Yeah.
Sick show.
Yeah.
So sick. Like, they played Bloodfest
Or
that
no,
year.
15th? I don't know. Whatever it was, yeah.
Yeah.
Bloodfest, yeah.
Yeah, they played that, and then they played Unhallowed all the way through. And
That's awesome.
because I missed the Summer Slaughter tour, they played Nocturnal all the way.
Yep.
Fuck,
And then they did that.
Yeah.
And then pretty much almost the whole time Nightbringers was in the touring cycle, they played all of Nightbringers. So he probably didn't really have a lot of time to learn anything else with how hard they tour.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, he's got songs in there, here and there, for sure. But yeah, like, the first time I saw him on that cycle was in Battle Creek with Suffocation and Decrepit Birth.
Oh, yeah, I was at that show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And that set list was pretty varied. They played an Everblack song. They played an Abysmal song.
Yeah.
Did a few Ritual, Nocturnal, Miasma. They pretty much did everything from every single album that they had up at that point.
That's awesome.
Which was awesome.
Which is kind of an advantage of a band that, kind of where a lot of their albums are shorter and therefore songs are shorter. You can fucking cover more ground in an hour and a half.
Oh, yeah. I think every
I mean?
time that I've seen them, they play anywhere from 15 to 19 songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
That's about right.
But, yeah, other than that first time, it's pretty much just when they play Nightbringers, and then it's the normal ones, like Everything Went Black, Horrible Night, Stirring Seas, stuff like that.
I fucking love that song.
Dude, it's so great. That song never gets old. And I remember when Ritual first came out, and I wasn't like like I liked the song, but it wasn't ever anything I really paid attention to until I saw them on that tour live and seeing the way that the crowd reacted to that song. Dude, that's definitely like a perfect example of just like a fucking live ready song. You know what I mean? Some songs just hit different live.
Yeah.
That was something I liked about Verminous, was just how like it was probably the most live represented that they've sounded on the album. And it only, like, I mean, Nightbringers did as well, but this one just felt like more just even live more ready.
Yeah.
Yes, there are definitely a lot of moments on Verminous where I'm like, this is going to just rip through the audience when we can finally fucking see it.
There's a drum solo on fucking Werewolf's Feast.
Yep.
Dude.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, that one.
I must have rewinded that like 10 times first time I heard it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
It's so dope. And then the whole last part, just the like, makes you want to do a fucking jig in my car. Just, Verminous is great.
Great album.
But it's number 2 for the year.
So far.
Yep. I gotta give it to Ulcerate. You ever heard of that?
I haven't even heard that.
Oh.
Yeah. Ulcerate is a band from New Zealand, and they're definitely legendary for sure.
Sounds familiar. Why?
Their record Everything Is Fire, for example, is, I did a list recently of my top death metal albums ever.
Wow.
Like,
if you ever want to do that on a podcast,
50, my top 50.
Feel free. Just let me know.
Yeah. I can't. But oh yeah. Yeah, I have that at number 8. All time.
Of all time?
Dude, it's amazing. I fucking love it. I mean, maybe people might get lost on it for sure, but to me, it's one of the most pulverizing records I've ever heard. And this one, the new one, the new one is still very heavy, don't get me wrong, but it's way more on the atmosphere.
Okay.
And it almost feels, the whole album almost feels like one continuous song. And it's just fucking epic. Cool. Like, it's so good, dude. I don't really know how to explain it other than, like, if you've listened to, like, Gorguts or, like, there's Immolation influence in there, too. Yeah. You know? It's dissonant death metal. You know, it's very bleak stuff. Nice. I would check it out for sure.
Like Colored Sands, kind of.
Yes, not techie like that. Everything Is Fire is closer to what you're talking about for sure. Yeah. But yeah, Colored Sands is definitely up there too for me too.
Yeah.
That
album fucked with my head. Yeah. The first time I heard it, I was like,
I've got that at 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been jamming that new End that came out.
Yeah.
Ooh. Fucking.
Oh.
Yeah.
So good, dude.
I was like, when their first EP came out a few years ago, we were talking about them. Mm-hmm. I was like, whenever this full-length album comes out, like, I'm on it. Like,
yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like, fucking, it's crazy, too, how much you can already see the evolution between the album and the EP. Mm-hmm. It's angrier, almost. Like,
yeah.
Like, there's like a hint of power violence in there that you get from, like, Nails and Weekend Nachos, stuff like that, you know. With a little, it's actually cool because it reminds me of a band that was Detroit native and is not active anymore, but it kind of reminds me of Sunlight's Bane.
Okay.
Right. Sunlight's Bane was a band that Nathan Barnes was in from Throne.
Okay.
And it had the original vocalist from And Hell Followed With.
Oh,
damn.
Nick Holland. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. He now plays in Wounded Touch. But yeah, super abrasive. Sunlight's Bane was a little bit more blackened and noise, but it reminds me of that, and it satisfies that need for me. I like that new record by End for sure.
I think anything Will Putney touches to me is like...
Oh, he's a master.
Gold.
Yeah. He is great. Love him. Yeah. So what were we talking about?
Well, speaking of bands that have had member changes recently, Recorruptor Now, is this like since Blood Moon? This would be the first member change, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, so yeah, I guess. So Dusty left, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if left is the right term for it.
All right.
But
fair enough.
Yeah. Dusty left the band.
Who was a guitarist?
What's that?
Who was a guitarist? Right.
Who was? Yeah.
For
Dreads.
Yep. Oh no, I know who it was. I'm just saying.
Right. Yeah. Oh, for the people. Right. Yeah. I was like, dude, he was here.
I know.
Yeah. No, it was definitely a tough situation, especially because by all technicalities, he was the only original member of the band left.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because,
I guess I hadn't thought about that like that. Yeah. That's true.
So, I mean, yeah, he started the band, and I mean, it's definitely something that we acknowledge. It was not an easy situation for a couple of years, and I mean, I'm trying to keep this as calm and professional as possible, I guess, because I mean, it absolutely wasn't a amicable split.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
fair enough.
But spot a couple of times.
Yeah, it's just, you know, and I love the guy, still love the guy. I wish he felt the same, but and there's different stories, but the fact of the matter is that we just, you know, there became a turning point in which things were difficult with us.
Yeah.
And him, and it was, you know, it was tough. It was expressed, and it was expressed in a lot of different ways, and we definitely worked with him a lot, and it just ended up not working out. It was tough. It became a point in which we were having a hard time finding the fun in doing it, and whether he wants to admit it, we could tell he wasn't having fun with the way things were going. You know, he had a lot of issues with the way that things were being handled with the band. And that's fine. You know, he doesn't have to like the way that, because it's, you know, the art is expression.
Right.
It's the way that we're expressing ourselves, and, you know, it just came down to a lot of creative differences. And
fair enough. Yeah.
We wanted to do things that we were doing. We're really happy with the record, and we really believe in it. And he didn't think that way, I guess. And we don't hate the guy. We don't think he's a bad guy.
Yeah.
He's got some things to figure out.
That's good. I mean, that's good that you have now found a replacement too. Yeah,
Caleb's awesome for sure. He absolutely, I haven't seen a guitarist play like that in a long time. He's really fluent. And he's a lot smarter than us, too, about that kind of stuff. I hate to be like that, but, you know, when we write, it's kind of like that, and I'm sure you get this, too. It's kind of like when we're writing, it's like, yeah, that part that goes, na-na-na-na-na-na-na, you know, you're doing the music, the band talk. And it's whatever.
It's like my favorite part of writing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like another language, and you just get it. But he actually, like, knows what the stuff is. He's like, oh yeah, you do a minor fifth right here, going down to he knows his theory, and I'm just sitting here like, what the fuck are you saying? I don't know. I don't play guitar for the band. You can do what I don't know. Either way, though, it's not like that kind of thing becomes an issue, though. Even with us, you know, beginning, you know, the writing of whatever follows the Funeral Corridor.
Yeah. Did Caleb have anything to do with any of the writing on the Funeral Corridor?
No.
Okay.
No.
But he has played some of the tracks live.
Once.
Only
no, twice.
Twice. I was gonna say I've seen him do it at least once.
Twice. Yes, twice. But yeah, like you know, he definitely understands not just music theory, but the way that it affects the emotion of a song. And that's what I really like. You know, he's
That's
like,
cool.
well, if you do this, then you're conveying a lot more darker of a feeling and stuff like that.
Oh,
you
wow.
know, like he really understands the art of guitar from a technical standpoint. He's super good.
That's really neat.
Yep. We just got to teach him a little bit more about the brutal.
Yeah.
That is teachable.
Yeah. No, he gets it though. Like
Good
he's definitely picking up what we're putting down. It's just from his standpoint, he hasn't played he hasn't played in a live band in, I think he told me, like 7 years maybe.
Yeah, it'd been a long time since he was on stage.
Yeah. 7 or 8 years or something like that.
It's a long time.
And I guess from what I understand, he didn't listen to a lot of new music at all during that time, that he wasn't playing live or doing really anything like that.
Right.
So now it's kind of a thing where we're just nerding the fuck out and just showing him everything. And
That's the best.
yeah,
That is the best.
yeah. And he's, some of it he isn't picking up on yet, and some of it he is, and it's, that's fine. That's taste. That's just music taste.
Yeah.
He did one day tell me that he doesn't understand why the Immolation album is so great that I love Close to a World Below. This is my favorite death metal album of all time.
Oh, damn.
#1.
Okay.
And I showed it to him, and he was like, but do you really think this is the greatest death metal of all time? And I said, I'm going to fucking cut your brake lines and watch you drive off a cliff if you tell me that again. No, but he really gets it. Like, he's really good, and I think he's really perfect for the band too, especially from a human standpoint, because dude, he's just as much of a goofball as the rest of us too.
Nice.
He's awesome.
Awesome.
I love Caleb for sure.
That's hard to come by sometimes. Is like,
Yeah.
Especially when you guys have been around for so long and try to put somebody new into it is like, you just hope that it kind of meshes together. And
Not to mention, and again, not tooting my own horn here, but like you said, we've been around for a long time, and we are at a really, we do play a really advanced genre of metal.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something that anybody can just walk into, let alone the fact that we practice in fucking Hastings, Michigan.
Right.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Like, to be able to get somebody to go out there
Yeah.
and
That's
do
deep.
shit.
That's deep.
Yeah.
Especially from here.
It's commitment.
Yeah. So it was really cool to be able to pick on him, especially so quick.
Yeah.
He's definitely been awesome.
That's good to hear.
How was it? Because I saw on your Instagram you guys went to a practice
Yep.
It was either last week or sometime really this week, maybe.
That one practice we did 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
They practiced last week, but I was obviously dealing with moving into the house, so I didn't go.
Oh. I say, how was it getting back to you? Because we just did that today. So
Oh,
I
it
just
was
wondered-
awesome. It was just like nothing ever happened. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like except for
Exactly.
except for the, being like, oh man, it's so great to be back here and whatever. But once that was passed, it was just down to business,
It was-
like normal.
Yeah.
It was awesome. We jammed a few of the funeral songs, and then, kind of just jammed on some new stuff, because it's not like we're gonna fucking play live anytime soon. So we might as well just kick out some jams and
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
see what's up. And it turned out really good. It's
Oh,
fun.
Yeah.
Yep, just drinking, listening to music, jamming out. It's what I crave.
Hmm.
Yeah. I didn't realize how much I needed it.
Yeah,
Until I was
dude.
there, I was like, this is like, all right. Like,
This is why
feel
we
a little
do
better
this.
now. Yeah. Because I've been uptight for weeks.
Oh,
Like,
yeah?
Just
Yeah.
stressing about everything, and just to finally kind of reach to a point where it's all kind of somewhat sort of kind of not really back to normal.
Yeah.
Is pretty nice to just kind of have everybody back in the room and just be like, oh, so this is weird, right? kind of
Right.
a thing. So
Mhm.
hell yeah, though.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun for sure. And we're glad to be back at it and just get this album done, and we'll see what happens. Who knows? Maybe we'll have enough time to kick out album number 3 before we can play live.
Hey, I mean, that's,
The way it's looking.
I mean, why
lot
not?
of bands, and a lot of
Shit.
bands are doing that right now. You know what I mean? We got who were we talking about the other day? Band. They said they might not release it earlier than they were originally going to, but they're gonna work on it right now. Parkway.
Yeah.
Parkway Drive.
Yeah.
Parkway Drive.
Gotcha.
Carnifex is already working on the next one, I think.
Mhm.
I think, and I don't think this is off schedule. I'm under the impression that this is always when this was going to happen. But Cannibal is back in the studio
Yep.
to have a new album, I think, out by hopefully the end of this year.
Be good shit too. They
Oh,
always
yeah.
slay
Oh yeah.
every single time.
You know,
I'll kick your ass if you say otherwise.
Oh, yeah. we got fucking a lot. There's a lot coming.
Yep.
Devil Driver.
New Lamb of God in a few weeks.
Yep.
Yeah, if that still happens, I know they've already delayed it once.
Yeah.
Oh, we better fuck. If it doesn't happen in 2 weeks, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind.
Can we talk about that for a second? How do you guys feel about those songs?
I love them.
Yeah.
I really do. I think I had to. Full disclosure, I did have to listen to the track with Chuck Billy more than once because the first time I heard it, I didn't know that it was the track with Chuck Billy, and I was like, that doesn't even sound like Randy's clean vocals, and I was like, oh, duh, it's not. But no, so far I really enjoy it. I think the drumming, another member change, is really good. I like Art Cruz. I loved Winds of Plague, and I think that, you know, after a couple of years of touring with Lamb of God, he really like was able to lay some shit down that like still adds his own flavor, but still is undeniably Lamb of God. You know what I mean? I don't know. I've been enjoying them, but I look forward. I'm also the kind of person where it's like, yeah, you can show me singles, but I'm not gonna get it until I hear the whole thing. I need to hear it as a piece.
Right.
So I'm really looking forward to it, though.
That's sort of where I'm at with it. Like
Yeah.
I think I liked Memento Mori probably the best.
Yeah.
New Colossal Hate's good.
I think I like that one the best.
That was I just
Actually, if we're being quite honest, that's the only one I've actually really liked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where
The
have
Chuck
you,
Billy one was okay too, but
where have you been on the other two? Because I think there's 4 now, right?
the thing
There's-
is that I guess you guys are technically older than me, I think. So I mean, you guys have probably been listening to the band a little bit
Well, how old are
longer
you?
than I have. I'm 25.
How old are you, Aaron?
Oh wait, no, you're younger than me. That's
No,
right.
26.
Oh,
shit.
you are?
Just in May. Turn 26.
fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So,
I
I
thought-
turned 26 in August, so
Okay. Yeah.
it's not that far
Not
off.
too far off. Yeah.
But like, I don't know.
I actually never knew that, to be honest.
Yeah.
I know we were the same age.
Well, close enough, I
Yeah,
suppose. It's only a
yeah.
few months. My thing is when I first started listening to Lamb of God was when Sacrament wasn't new, but it was the most recent record. Like
That's-
it was, I literally found them just on the heels of them releasing Set to Fail as a single from Wrath.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so I was already like really digging Lamb of God, and they were like the first scream oriented band that I ever listened to.
They're one of the first like that for me, too.
Yeah. So you know, I was really digging on everything that they were doing. It was a really unique sound, and I thought it was super cool that every single album still had their own flavor while still being undeniably Lamb of God. You know, they had really unique riffing to me, and Randy Blythe was a powerhouse and still is a powerhouse. And then Wrath came out, and it was, I mean, possibly their angriest record.
I love that album.
It's second behind Alice as the Palace is Burned for me.
Okay.
That might not be the most popular opinion, because I know Ashes is, you know, a really loved record, and I love it too. But the time and the place made Wrath a super special record for me.
That's how I feel about Sacrament.
Yeah. Like, so, you know, I got really into them with that. And then, but then, shit. Resolution? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Resolution.
Resolution and then Virom Strong. Was
Yeah.
The next one.
Yeah. Resolution came out, and it was cool, but I could definitely tell that some things were kind of some riffs were kind of starting to repeat themselves a little bit. Like I was hearing things that I heard in records previous, and I was just like, you know, like I said before, the thing I liked about Lamb of God was that you could really easily identify their songs from one another, and that record kind of felt a little long-winded to me. While the first half was very banging, the second half of the record kind of was like, okay, I get the point. It's whatever.
It does kind of lose its, at least a little bit of its momentum about the middle half of it. It comes back around by the last couple tracks, but yeah, it felt. And I think it was their longest record to date.
Yeah,
too, at that point.
I think so.
A couple extra songs.
Yeah. Even though King Me is a banger.
Yeah,
King Me is awesome.
That track. Yeah,
they've always been good about writing like
closers. Yeah. Every single one has an awesome closer.
Reclamation.
You're right. Reclamation is great.
Isn't Vigil a closer?
Vigil's a closer. Even with Sacrament, because
Black Label.
No, that's
no, I'm sorry.
That's the opener on New American Gospel, but
I don't remember what it is.
No, Sacrament is it's either Foot to the Throat or Requiem.
It's Foot to the Throat.
Yeah, it's Foot to the Throat.
On Death's Door, I think.
Beating on Death's Door. That's right.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah. Even that is like just a fucking. It's just a motherfucker.
It's a great track.
Yeah, that album's great because it retains the same energy the whole time.
Yeah.
It does not let up. It's awesome.
I love the whole atmosphere behind it. Like they just do so much extra, and it was kind of I feel like that was kind of one of the things people had a little bit of a problem with the first couple of times. Like when it first came out, was how like there was some like studio stuff kind of going on and some like different effects that they hadn't used before.
Yeah.
But
definitely.
I love that. I thought it built to the atmosphere so well. And that was kind of what made it my favorite for the longest time, and it still is. But like, there's just certain things about it that stick out to it a little more.
Right.
It's just like,
super awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to Desolation. I just kind of felt like there were some things in there that was,
that's
repeating or resolution. Yeah. See, I always do that. But even still, some of those songs that they played were the first half of that record, and I saw them a couple times on that touring cycle, and they were awesome.
Yeah,
so great.
Yeah.
But then the new one came out, Sturm und Drang.
Sturm und Drang, yeah.
Yeah.
I said Veer Strong earlier.
Yeah.
Sturm und Drang.
Yeah. Storm and Stress is what it translates to, I believe.
Yeah. I had
that one I did not like.
I had such hope
a couple
for that
songs, but even still, again, like it felt like it's the same thing.
Out of all their albums, that is definitely one that didn't. I had the hardest time kind of getting into it, and then I did. And I found some things that I liked on it, but still top to bottom, it's probably my least favorite by them.
Yeah. Like, there's cool moments on it still, like Erase Me is cool.
Yeah, there are, like I said, I found moments that I really liked.
And I've come to appreciate Overlord for what it is, Okay. Like, I think it's a, even if it is a little out there, it's still different for them, which is what I appreciate from the band.
512.
Yeah, that's the one. That's definitely the best song on the record.
Yeah.
But overall, it was kind of. I think it's just a thing where when I found the band, there were no skippable tracks on any record that they had. They were absolutely perfect. And then as time went on, I kind of felt like they just got too comfortable. Mm-hmm. Even though they're still really talented musicians.
Oh, yeah.
They're still really great, and obviously their new records don't do a bad job at retaining their status of who they are. I just really like them for how they were progressing the genre at the time and really, really bringing it to a lot of new ears, and now it's kind of at a point where you're not really hearing anything new from them.
I think they were. I think as musicians, they may have been a little backed up because I think there were other things that members wanted to do, and I think we've seen that. We've had the Mark Morton side project. We've had Randy Bly has been doing a side. Nobody's heard it yet, but he's been working on a second band for a while now.
Yeah.
And he's been doing lots and lots of guest touring and guest vocal spots on very not screaming all the time, very different types of music than what Lamb of God is. So I think as musicians and just creators in general, they were like kind of they felt like they were in the spinning wheel too at a certain point, maybe even pigeonholed a little bit.
Yeah.
But now, since one of the things that makes me so excited about this album and hearing it top to bottom is that they've got the new Life of Art crews in there, and all of them have said they've really enjoyed working with him so far, and he kind of like reinvigorated everybody a little bit, on top of them being able to have let out some of that creative stuff that they might not be able to do in a band like Lamb of God through their other side projects, and now come back to Lamb of God, have this be their first self-titled album. I think makes a bit of a statement. You know what I mean?
It's tough though, because, and I mean, I guess I'm just raising counterpoints here, not necessarily.
No, be my devil's advocate.
You know what I mean?
Be my devil's advocate.
I know that a large reason why Chris Adler split from Lamb of God, whether that was his decision or not, it hasn't really been said.
It's not clear.
Yeah. But I know one of the few things he did say was the fact that the band wasn't really interested in trying new ideas that he was interested in. So it's kind of...
Yeah, I got that out of it too.
Yeah, so it's kind of a thing where... And plus, man, Chris Adler has to be one of the most important drummers.
He's a murderer.
Yeah.
Murderer.
Between him and, like, Joey Jordison.
Yeah.
When I was first coming up.
And they both influenced a legion
yes.
of young metal drummers.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're both so important, whether anybody likes to admit it or not. Just because they're, the biggest metal bands out right now, they're still so important, and they're there for a fucking reason.
Yeah.
But it's just hard for me because I did grow up in that era where everybody worshipped Chris Adler, and to not see him in the band anymore is kind of making me a little skeptical. But I'm gonna listen to the thing.
Yeah,
I'm gonna listen to it with an open mind, as I do with any music that I listen to.
Absolutely,
it's just tough.
You're talking to the biggest like fanboy of that era.
Yeah.
Like when I heard, more so Sacrament than probably anything that they've done, but like, and when I was like first really getting into them, it was Sacrament, and then Wrath came out, and I remember hearing Contractor for the first time, and just being like, this is fucking like,
yeah,
I need to do this.
Contractor is another level.
And same thing with and it's funny that they're both not in either band anymore, but same thing with Joey Jordison from Slipknot. Like those, it was Volume 3, and it was like Sacrament, Ashes, like,
yeah,
I don't know, Wrath kind of era that sort of got me like started kind of like playing drums or whatever. And it was like to have such an abrupt change and have somebody that like had been such a face in it for so long just be like, well, not in it anymore, is like, really? Like,
yeah.
and it is also kind of extra disappointing that like there doesn't seem to be. He's not in a new band already yet. Like, we don't have any new Adler to look forward to.
No,
right now.
That's not technically true. He did do a track with Michelangelo Badio.
I don't know who that is.
He's a shredder.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, the song is not good.
Oh, that's disappointing. What is this? Is this? Was it with a band though, or just another?
Chris Adler did the session drums.
Okay.
Yeah. It is weird. I don't know if you ever listened to. Have you ever heard of Nitro? Have you ever heard of a band called Nitro?
I've heard the name.
Nitro used to be pretty popular in the late 80s.
Yes.
Like a super group?
No, they just used to be like a... Well, Michelangelo Badio was in it.
Okay.
That was his first band. They were a glam band,
yes.
but they were just really... They were really popular for one song back in the day that circulated MTV for a while, and the singer had a really high voice, and nobody could believe it or whatever, but they didn't do anything further than that. Obviously, Michael made a career out of himself being a shredder, but fucking...
The only thing I know of him is the two like guitars.
Yeah.
There's that picture it's in like every guitar magazine where it's like the flying V, but it's two of them connected, and he's just standing there with it.
Yeah, when it comes to throwing a million notes into a song and it not meaning anything, he's almost as bad as Yngwie Malmsteen. Like,
I was about to make that comparison.
Yeah. And too, fucking Megadeth's recording right now. How do they not grab Adler for that? He did
because it's
like the last song on that album, didn't he?
because Dirk from Soilwork is their official drummer now.
Oh, really?
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Did
because
not
Adler
know.
did the couple tours and then they
Yep.
got Dirk because
Wow.
Adler was gonna be too busy with Lamb of God, and then that didn't end up working out. Could you imagine?
And then Megadeth
Ad-
and Lamb of God was about to tour.
Yeah. Can you imagine Megadeth actually having Chris Adler in the band like
And
full
then
time?
and then Lamb of God opening for them
Yeah.
Wow.
on that tour.
Yeah.
That would have been interesting.
Yeah.
Trip. Yeah.
But at
Anyway.
the same time, you know, it would have been awesome for us as fans.
Right.
So
Anyway, Nitro tried to come back with
I think I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nitro tried to come back with the original singer, and then Michael was on the guitars, and then they had Chris Adler on the drums, and then Victor Wooten on bass.
Okay.
And
Legend.
yeah, if you don't know who Victor Wooten is,
I
dude,
haven't heard
you
his
gotta,
name.
dude, he's one of the
Wooten?
great. Victor Wooten.
Wooten. Okay.
He's one of the greatest bass players to ever live.
Where's he? Who's he been?
Victor Wooten.
He's yeah, dude.
He's just Victor Wooten.
Yeah, he's as far as like bass players go, like iconic bass players. He's
Dude,
up
he's the
there.
man.
Oh,
He's, yeah.
Yeah. So they did this fucking song. I guess they were planning on doing a whole album as a Nitro comeback, and then they did this one song, and it was legitimately the worst thing I've ever heard.
Oh, Jesus.
And I am not exaggerating. I think if anybody ever held a gun to my head and said, "What's the worst thing you've ever heard?" it's probably that song. Dude, it is bad. All those great musicians in one room.
You heard Lulu?
I like Lulu better than this song.
Oh shit.
Dude,
At least Lulu has a point.
Okay. fair enough.
psychosexual.
Yeah. Oh.
Up until
I
recently.
did hear that.
Jesus.
That one's really bad.
Yeah.
Like
I
that.
showed them that the other night, and it was like,
That's even like even radio stations are gonna look at that band with a 5-finger death punch guy and be like,
yeah.
thanks.
Yeah.
That's bad. That is really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. We rabbit holed again, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Lamb of God. New stuff. I'm not crazy about it. New Colossal
Not
Hate
crazy
was
about it.
cool, but
Fair enough.
you know, I still got mad respect for them.
And that and hey, do you leave the possibility open that may change once you hear the whole album top to bottom?
Yeah, absolutely. You know,
Hell yeah.
I've done that. I've done that with a lot of records.
Dude,
sure.
Same.
I've heard whole albums top to bottom, like on a little speaker like this or a computer speaker or whatever, and been like, meh. And then heard it in the car on the big speakers and been like, oh,
Yeah,
I
you notice
actually
some
like
things.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so, it can change like that. Like,
Mm-hmm. Actually, with Death Atlas, Cattle Decapitation, when they first did the first single, One Day Closer to the End of the World,
yeah.
when they first did that, like, I thought it was okay, but I was like, this ain't really like the mind-blowing Cattle Decap that I know.
Little did you know.
But little did I know, once the album came out, it made perfect sense in there, and I really saw I really saw where they were accenting the builds in the song, and just the overall point, and the whole last part is just awesome.
I want to say
That's a great one.
That is still one of my favorites.
we did the the best of last year,
Mm-hmm.
and I had heard it. I was familiar with it. I heard it all the way through. I recently, within the last couple months, got a physical copy of it
Yeah.
and sat down with it. I get it now.
Mhm.
And I got it
unreal.
before because I was a huge fan of the Anthropocene Extinction.
Yeah.
Because I really liked the album that was before, and Monolith of Inhumanity.
Monolith in Humanity is one of the greatest pieces of death metal ever written.
That's
number 4 on my list.
yeah. So it took sitting down with it a couple of times and and now it's in my car regularly.
Yeah,
I
dude.
just, but just hearing just the movements between it, all the
Mhm.
little interludes and stuff, and kind of how it all builds towards the end of it, and especially prevalent this this part of the year,
Mm-hmm.
with everything that's
Absolutely.
happened, I
Yeah.
just
Mhm.
it just made me appreciate it more. But yeah, it kind of goes back to just having that physical copy of it, just being able to kind of sit down with it and just, it's
It's
Like,
amazing.
Yeah.
It is a piece of work for sure. Like, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I mean, you know me, I'm always checking out new music, so
You
I
are
don't really like...
a machine when it comes to that.
I
I
don't
really
even know
like,
where you find half these bands. I'm
you
like,
know.
who? You must have like tentacles out there that like people like report. Dude, check this out. Dude, check this out.
Oh,
or
people are
something.
always hitting me up now.
Like,
but like,
it's insane.
so thus, you know, I'm always checking out new stuff, so I'm not really like always repeating, listening to a crazy amount of stuff.
Okay.
That's my
But
problem.
when Death Atlas came out, I don't think I turned that off for a month.
That's yeah.
It's
I'm at with it.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's so fucking good.
Yeah, and
I
at
love
first,
that
especially
album.
coming out late in the year, I was wondering if I made the right decision making it number one, and then I was
Definitely
just
did.
like, okay.
Definitely did.
Yeah.
I still don't know. Like we put Death Atlas at number 2 and
Slipknot.
We Are Not Your Kind. That's the name of the album, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, We Are Not
Yeah.
Your Kind, number 1. I still go back and forth to this day.
Yeah.
I'm like, God, both these albums are so fucking good. Like,
I
I like them for different reasons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I do gotta
it's
say,
tough.
I definitely do appreciate that Slipknot album more now. Like, I still really liked it when it came out
Mhm.
too, but now I'm still even like finding new things about it. I think that's really cool for them too.
Really
Yeah.
great album.
Especially with the Gray chapter not being like the most fantastic thing in the world. You know, like
Mhm.
it was better than All Hope Is Gone, I gotta say, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
It did definitely take me a while to get into Volume 5 the way that it is.
Yeah.
Like, and just to kind of and honestly, like it sort of took me until the last one came out that I kind of started like
just revisiting.
yeah.
Yeah.
Even well, between that and seeing them live again. So I
Yeah.
feel like a lot
Yeah.
of the songs that they played were kind of like off various records and stuff. And
Right.
that was one, like, I wasn't super blown away by Devil and I when I first heard it, but now it's like
Mhm.
one of my favorite songs that's on it.
All right.
Like, it's cool.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I didn't like Psychosocial at first at all, but
I still
after
don't
I
like
saw
it.
it live,
Well,
right, after I saw it live,
That's
I
what I
was
was gonna
like,
say. Yeah.
this song is so much heavier live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Than it is on the radio, and that's the way, you know, in a bit I've talked about it before. That's a big way I felt, because when I was younger, obviously around 2000, when I was fucking 10 years old, I was into Linkin Park. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
word, yeah.
I was into Linkin Park, and then
Dude, that
you know,
was
once
so
I got
important,
into
man.
yeah,
When Hybrid Theory and Meteora both came out. Yeah.
absolutely. But then once you get into heavier music, you're like, nah, I don't like that anymore. But
Okay.
then, my 1 year for Christmas, my aunt got my cousin and I tickets to see Linkin Park, Coheed, and Chiodos
Oh, that's awesome.
at
show.
the Joe.
That's
And we went and we were fucking blown away. They were another one that is they were 1,000 times heavier live than
Yeah.
they ever were on any record. Or
Yeah.
dude, they were just raw as shit, and just way heavier,
Mhm.
way heavier live. We wanted to start a pit, but we were in a crowd of people that didn't know what the fuck a pit was, so that didn't work.
Yeah.
But we tried, but it didn't work.
hmm
yeah.
I agree with that though.
Some bands are just way heavier live, and I think a lot of that is with the the radio bands, because they'll do it on the radio and it'll kind of sound a little just a little smoother. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Just a little
Yeah.
less heavy. They'll take a little bit of the edge off it just to get people to come to the show, hopefully.
Yeah.
And they come to the show and blow the fucking doors off.
Yeah.
Well, that's why
Yeah.
there's like 5 different versions of Wait and Bleed.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. They do
Like,
different versions. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, like, and there's a reason why a lot of those bands are big too. You know, you can hate all you want, but I mean, you go and see them. I have heard plenty of people say that they went and saw Nickelback in concert as a hater, and they leave and they say that was actually a really fucking cool show.
I've heard
Like,
that.
yeah,
Honestly.
I've heard Nickelback is really good live. Like,
I've personally
Maybe.
never heard that. But I've only never heard that because I don't think I've known anyone that's ever seen them. But
I haven't either, but
another
I
one of
don't
those
know.
bands that I hear is just fucking blow your doors off heavy live is Godsmack.
they are
They are
100%.
Okay.
I've seen them.
Okay.
That was awesome. I went. My brother won tickets on Q106 too.
Hell yeah.
But he don't fuck with none of that shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was trying to win some other prize, and he got the second place consolation prize for Godsmack tickets for the Jackson County Fair.
Oh, okay. That'd be a cool
And,
place to see him.
Yeah. So I ended up taking my buddy Church with me to go see him, and yeah, they were fucking awesome.
Way have your life,
Yeah, dude, they were so good.
That's awesome.
I don't care what anybody. I love Godsmack.
No,
I love Godsmack's earlier stuff. I should say.
Yeah.
What's the tan cover album with the face? Is it Faceless?
Yeah.
It's the one with I Stand Alone.
Yeah.
That is the first album I bought that was that had a parental advisory sticker on it, and like I took it up to the counter, and I was like, they're not going to sell me this, and they sold it to me.
Nice.
And I was like way too young, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And I bought that album, and I fucking fell in love with that album.
Dude,
like,
you're so lucky, man. I remember when I was a young kid, and I tried buying Endgame by Megadeth at a fucking
Such a
store,
good
and it didn't
record.
even have a parental advisory sticker on it. And the fucking Meyer lady was like, "You gotta
they're
have a parent.
assholes at Myers.
You gotta
yeah.
have a parent to get this." Like it was
Yep.
some old lady. I was like,
That doesn't even make sense if it doesn't have a sticker.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any goddamn
"Yeah, I wasn't
sense.
even because I wasn't like." She said some shit about how I had to be 15 years old or something. I was like, "Are you?"
That sounds like some
What?
bullshit.
Oh yeah, no. I look back on it now, and I look at that face, that disappointed fucking face on that lady, and she definitely looked like she would have recommended me a Casting Crown CD or something. But
That's what it was. She just didn't want you to listen to a band called Megadeth.
yeah, exactly.
Like, holy shit.
I was so
No,
pissed off. But it's okay. I saw him in concert a month later and got the fucking CD signed by Dave Mustaine himself. So whatever.
What show? What show?
It was the small run that they did for Endgame. It was Megadeth at the Orbit Room with Machine Head and Suicide Silence.
I was
Dude,
there.
I had a chance to go to that, and I think it was like a 16 and up, and I was like 15 at the time.
Oh yeah,
And-
I don't know. My dad brought me, so it was cool.
Yeah.
He didn't even go. Like he just sat. He sat in the balcony, and I was down in the pit with Seth the whole time. And
Holy shit. You got something signed by? I remember, like, I didn't have anything to get signed by him because I just got a T-shirt. I already
you
had the
have to
album.
do that.
And but I walked out just to fucking see him sitting there at the table. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? So dude, we might have been standing right next to each other and
Oh,
not even
yeah.
fucking known it. That's
Oh, yeah.
insane.
Come to think of it, I have a signed copy of that CD from a buddy that went to that show.
Yeah.
Damn.
Hell yeah.
So, and I ended up having it. Like, he just never asked for it again. So,
Right.
it's like, all right.
Yeah. So it's cool. It's somewhere. I don't know where it is, but yeah, that was a cool show. That was my first show ever too.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It is funny. I fucking hated Suicide Silence.
Dude, that was one of the reasons I wanted between them and Machine Head. Because I think
Yeah.
wasn't the Blackening out or the
That was
Yes.
no, it wasn't Locust.
just yeah.
Locust wasn't out yet. Yeah.
I was super into the Blackening. when I
Yeah,
first
dude.
did
I
it.
mean, that's
One of the
legendary
greatest albums of all
Even
time
still.
to
It's a
me.
legendary
I
album.
love it.
It's in one of the. I mean, I don't know of a comeback album because they hadn't released an album in a long time, right?
Yeah, the newest one at that point was Through the Ashes of Empires, and that was a 2004 record.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
so it would have been like over like 10 years.
No, because
Or no?
that was 2007 when The Blackening came out.
Yeah.
When did Endgame come out?
No, we're talking about Machine Head.
Yeah, I know, but if it was the Blackening.
Oh yeah, no, Machine Head
Probably-
toured on The Blackening for 5 years.
Oh shit. Okay, I
yeah,
didn't realize that.
Because that's how huge that record was.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Okay, for sure. Holy shit.
But
I just remember seeing the video for Aesthetics of Hate
yeah,
on
dude.
MTV. Like
Hell
same way I
yeah.
saw Black Dahlia for the first time.
Yep.
And just I remember hearing that opening guitar riff and how like just the drums come in with it and stuff, and then just that solo
It
in the
is
middle.
the most menacing thing in the world.
Yeah.
It literally feels like somebody's running up behind you in the dark.
Yeah.
The way that comes up, just
Yeah.
it's awesome.
Plus the riffing on it is just like just sick.
Yeah, gnarly.
The fucking horsies.
Yeah.
That's what Crystal calls them. Yeah, I showed her Slayer one time when we were first dating, And they do, you know, they've got a bunch of fucking whammy bar shit in there.
Uh-huh.
And she's just like, those are some cool horsies that they got there. I fucking love that woman. I love her so much.
Hell yeah. Yeah, where is she tonight? She usually accompanies you.
Oh,
she's just chilling at home?
Yeah, no, she's hanging with a friend out there.
Nice.
But yeah,
Nice.
Yeah, that was my first show. Was Megadeth, Machine Head, Suicide Silence, and a band from Colorado called Arcanium. And I remember because they opened the show and they had a shit ton of technical difficulties and they didn't even get to play their full set.
Oh, I might have shown up at that show late. I might not have seen them.
It was a bummer because they were actually kind of cool. They just did not handle those technical difficulties very well. They were kind of pissy about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. When you get that stuff like that happening, you can't show your true emotions there. Because people will notice and people will not like it.
Yeah.
And then Suicide Silence came up, and I mean, sure they played tight, but I will stand by this until the end of time. Mitch Lucker was not a good vocalist live.
Oh, okay.
He just was not. He sounded like he always sounded so rough. Sure, during the cleansing era, sure, he was good.
That's yeah.
But at that time, he literally sounded like somebody was killing a cat on stage.
There was I remember seeing different like live footage of him and stuff towards like the later years of it, like when the Black Crown was out and stuff, and it was like,
yeah,
like
yeah.
I mean, did he? That there were a lot of at that point in time. Especially, there were a lot of people who were using the guttural vocals incorrectly, and it wasn't in a healthy, sustainable way.
I actually think the guttural vocals was one of his stronger suits, if anything. Well, I know that he was more known on record for those ear-piercing highs.
Yeah.
But like,
by gutturals, I just mean scream. I just a different word for scream. The whole range of extreme vocals.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I know it's more like, we try to come up with a fucking word for other than just screaming, because we don't feel like screaming really, like that kind of, when you think screaming, it's like the highs, but the gutturals is like the lows.
I think that screaming is actually probably the best term, in my opinion.
That's what most people hear when they hear it, and they're not accustomed.
Because my thing, and this brings up another debate, I fucking hate it when people say clean vocals and unclean vocals.
Yeah.
Because clean vocals is literally just singing.
Yes.
That's what it's called.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's singing and it's screaming.
Yes.
That's what it is to me, because it's not, because the actual act of doing that is when you scream, like if you were to scream at somebody, you're using the same technique as somebody doing extreme vocals.
It's actually a really good point. Yep.
And singing is just singing. And if I hear somebody say clean vocals in front of me one more time, I swear to God.
It's the literal... Yeah, no, that's a really good... I didn't think of the literal act. That's a good point as a way to just fucking be the way to describe it.
I like the term harsh vocals.
Yeah, harsh vocals is good.
That works. Yeah, that kind of covers it.
But then even again, you'd still consider Travis Ryan singing harsh. It's still harsh.
Yeah.
You could say
maybe that. Yeah.
Fucking same with Slayer.
Yeah. Like, it's still harsh stuff.
Harsh, but it's not really screaming in the way that, Recorruptor, Bogwraith, Lamb of God, Children of Bodom, any of them.
It's tough.
Yeah.
I don't think there's ever going to be a proper answer that anybody agrees on.
But I
can tell you
one
thing. Clean vocals is not correct.
It's just singing. I agree with that.
It's just singing.
I agree with that.
The only thing worse than that is screamo.
Oh my God, yeah.
Like that word is like moist to some people.
Yeah.
To me, like that's as close as I can relate to it.
A little bit.
Like.
Yeah, it's.
That's kind of an older term now. I don't think a lot of people use that as much anymore.
Oh no, I still get it.
Really?
From fucking people that are not metalheads.
Well, of course. That's the only people that use that term aren't metalheads.
Yeah. I had one just recently. Some dude, a few months back, comes in. We got talking about how I do the band thing, and am I touching you? Am I getting you?
Straight like pull my
fuck
off my face.
Sorry.
It's all good.
Yeah, somebody came into work and was like, Oh, the metal stuff. Isn't that like screamo?
God, that's.
I was like, I might get fired for this, but get the fuck out of here.
How old was this individual?
I mean, he was like probably 30s.
Okay.
Oh,
So exactly, yeah. See,
Yeah,
screamo.
it kind of is.
I'm 30, and screamo was the thing when I was in middle school.
It just bums me out because
So-
screamo is an actual genre.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
that's
it was.
not related to
Absolutely.
metal.
Correct.
You know,
Correct.
It's a
Correct.
weird thing.
It
And the
just
weird
got
thing is that
kinda-
it's not even like a popular genre.
Dude, when I was in fucking middle school, I got lumped in with screamo, goth, fucking emo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it was all the same to everybody, pretty much. It was
Yeah.
all the people that shop at Hot Topic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Because from the outside, it is kind of all the same.
yeah,
Right.
I mean,
Like, it
yeah,
all looks
it
the
all
same,
kind
you
of
know?
looks the same.
Yeah.
You look like a juggalo. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And then you get it, and then you get into it as a metalhead, and you're like, no, I hate all them.
Fuck you, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you get
Yeah.
that at a young age, and they're just like, you know, they're just like, oh, you're, you know, doing the metal thing. You're one of those emo kids, and I was like, do I look like I sit in the hallways and fucking put bobby pins in my arm and
Write poetry?
talk about Invader Zim all the goddamn time?
God.
Like, shit.
That was it.
Yeah.
That, Invader Zim, Courage.
Yeah.
Courage
Courage was dope, but shit, they took that from us,
Yeah.
They
man.
Yeah.
did. They really did. They really did. Yep.
Yeah, like,
See, I was kind of the mind where I was like, all right, like fuck it, whatever. Like,
I mean, yeah, it got to that point
You
where
know.
it's like, you know, they could think what they want, but like when I walk by them with my earbuds in and I got the music up so loud they can still fucking hear it with my earbuds in, then they know that's, you know what I mean.
mm,
yeah.
And then when you
Yeah.
finally get a car and you can drive to school, it's over.
yeah.
I just think of
So-
all.
Pull up every day bumping Lamb of God at 6:30 in the fucking morning, then it's over.
Yeah.
all the
Destroy everything.
years of losing hearing from sitting on the bus, like cranking music.
Oh yeah, so you
Like-
didn't have to. You didn't have to listen to all the fucking shit heels just
Yeah.
spewing garbage out of their mouth. Oh my god.
The bus is where one of the main places where I fell in love with Tenacious D for the
Tenacious
first time.
D.
And that was like the first one where I was like showing it to the people that would always sit next to me. Like, you
Yeah.
gotta trust me. You gotta listen to this shit.
Hey.
This is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Shit, I
The
remember.
drive-through bit. Oh my
Oh
god.
man.
I remember
Oh.
being on the bus and having somebody hand me headphones and be like, somebody doesn't think this is like there's actual like words in this, and it was redneck.
Oh god.
Yeah, I was like,
remember-
yeah,
I
I
mean-
can. There's words in this. Like,
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
I had just recently gotten into 3 Inches of Blood, who, for anyone that doesn't know, they had 2 lead singers.
Yep.
And when I first heard Lamb of God, when my cousin first showed me, it was oh my god, it was either Laid to Rest or Now You've Got Something to Die For, one of those two. I was like, my first question was, who are their singers? Because I didn't think that sound could come out of one human being. Like,
Yeah.
the first time I heard it, like it now I've heard it a billion times. It actually sounds different to me now. But the first time I heard it, it was so. I'd not heard anything like that before. I thought it had to be 2 people, and he's like, "No, it's just one guy." And since then, I was hooked.
Yeah.
Hooked.
Yeah. It is kind of a crazy thing looking back on how you grow as a metalhead too.
Mm-hmm.
Because as passionate as I am about death metal now, I actually really fucking hated it at first.
I didn't care for the extreme vocal, the fucking screaming at first.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because I came from the Megadeth, Metallica, Iron Maiden, Judas
Yep.
Priest,
Slayer.
Slayer, the fucking old stuff, the stuff that isn't around
Same.
anymore.
Yeah,
all
I
this
was the
new stuff
exact same way.
sucks.
Yeah. I wasn't necessarily
Ozzy.
I wasn't necessarily new stuff sucks, but I was like, I guess I just got so embedded with that sect of, especially thrash metal was the
Yeah.
big one, you know,
Yeah.
that I didn't really give the time of day to anything else for a minute. And then I kind of found out stuff like Slipknot and Lamb of God and you know, all that stuff. And for a while it was like to a point to where I just thought that kind of death metal, even as something as simple as Cannibal Corpse, I was just like, it's just all gurgling. It's all nonsense.
Yeah.
Like,
it didn't make sense to me. There was a point in time where it didn't make sense to me.
Like Lamb of God and Black Dahlia Murder are doing different things, you know. Like there's variation in their vocals. I didn't get it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
exactly.
Like I didn't get it at all, and it took me a long time until I first heard. Actually, as far as that kind of stuff goes, it was probably when. It was probably Death.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Who the fuck else has that pull for their one that gets them into it?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, like I liked death metal bands, but they were like melodic death metal bands.
Yeah.
Like cleaner.
Yeah.
You know, more tight stuff, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
But then, you know, I heard Leprosy for the first time, and I was just like, okay, this makes sense. I get this.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I can process this, and then so forth came Suffocation and Immolation and Cryptopsy, and I was just all in from there.
Fuck yeah.
Ever since then, it's just like, give me fucking all of it. And then even still at that point, black metal. I actually probably kind of liked black metal before death metal, now that I think about it, but very basic entry bands. And that was just because I found out about the Norwegian scene and all of the shit behind that.
Mm-hmm.
Like all of the stories. So I kind of like really got into, you know, Burzum and Mayhem and Emperor. Actually, you know, and Seth was a big one for that too. He helped me with a lot of that black metal too, because he got into the Demi Borgir really early, and I didn't really get on board with that. Actually, I didn't really start getting into Demi Borgir until this year.
Oh wow!
Damn.
Yeah, like it just never clicked with me. And
you
then
have
I
a real
listened
fun
to
wormhole to go down.
well, even still, I've listened to all of it plenty of times.
Okay, fair enough.
For the most part, but having a hard time with it. The one with Purania is what it's called. Puritania.
Puritanical.
Yeah.
Puritanical misanthrope. Something. It's the
one with the body.
Yeah, the greatest cover they ever did, in my opinion. Besides, I mean, that and Death Cult Armageddon are right up there. But the most famous cover of Demo and with that crazy title.
For me, it was In Sorte Diaboli.
Is that the one with Gateways on it?
No, that's the one after that. It had Chosen Legacy, Sacrilegious Scorn.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah, because when Seth was showing me Dimmu, it was the album that Gateways was on.
Abrahadabra.
Yeah. And I was just I was just like, this is a little too clean for me. Like, I'm not really, because at that point, then I was really into the death metal.
Yeah, fair enough. See, my intro to them was Death Cult, so
right,
it was a lot fucking more that like melodic, almost industrial on some level. And I had some already introduction to KMFDM at that point, so
right,
I was kind of I kind of was partial. I liked the industrial style a little bit.
So I was
never really into like super industrial stuff. It was just more like
Seth loved it.
yeah.
Yeah. And that's kind of where I was, you know, playing into, is when I was really starting to find all the death metal stuff. Like, even I guess Seth was always ahead of the curve for a while on finding, you know, the new styles of metal. Ahead of me, I was kind of intolerant with that kind of stuff. So he, you know, there were points when he was showing me like fucking Deicide and shit like that, and I was just like, I don't really get it.
It wasn't hitting you,
you know,
that's real.
I still don't really care for Deicide aside from a couple albums, but but I mean, that's not the point. Like, Deicide he was listening to Cannibal Corpse, and he was listening to, you know, just bands like that. and I was just not really getting it. And then once I finally got into that, he was starting to get into really industrial and symphonic black metal too.
Mm-hmm.
To where, you know, that's where the Dimmu comes in, and he was showing me that abracadabra stuff, and I was just like, yeah, see, this is a little bright for it doesn't seem that evil. I'm not really getting the point of it.
That was a weird record for him.
And then
honestly.
And then later I decided to try him again, and people were telling me, said, well, if you don't really like this clean stuff, then maybe you should go back and listen to like Stormblast.
That's a good one.
And then I didn't really get that either, because at that point I really was into black metal.
It's not where I would have sent you back to, but that is a good one.
Yeah. Because I wasn't, I was really into black metal, and when it comes to black metal, I like my stuff the evilest it can get.
Yeah.
I don't really like polished black metal at all. It's got to have a fair amount of either dissonance, or it's just got to be fucking Norwegian as fuck.
Real.
So I wasn't really like feeling what they were doing, because it seemed a little, it still was a little too neat for me.
Mm-hmm.
Dimmu kind of gets that flack a little bit. Because they're one of the first that at least that I could think of as far as like mainstream black metal, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely took it to another level when it came to the whole show of it, and like just making black metal super grandiose.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I had such a hard time getting into Dimmu, was because I thought the point of black metal was to be as raw as possible.
Yeah.
If it's not fucking potato recording quality,
right.
Yeah.
It's got to sound like it's coming from a Fisher Price amp.
Right.
Yes.
It's one of my favorite memes.
Yeah.
I love that shit.
Oh man. But like if it doesn't sound like it was recorded like those early albums, then I wasn't quite getting it. It didn't really seem like black metal to me. But then I listened to Puritanical and Death Cult Armageddon, and I was like, okay, I see where the riffage is. Yeah. I also think part of that is because I listened to Old Man's Child, which is Galder's side project.
Oh shit! I don't even think I've ever heard that.
Dude, I think that Old Man's Child record fucking slays anything Dimmu's ever done.
Damn.
But that's just me.
I'm not even gonna lie. The newest Dimmu album, I think it came out now in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That was sick.
And it was really good. I don't feel like it got nearly enough attention as it deserved.
Yeah, I heard them.
But at the same time, they were supposed to follow it up with a big North American tour that they never did.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't really do that, do they?
They were
tour.
Well, it had been a long time in between albums, and then he was on I can't remember which member, but one of the members was on the Justice show. And he was like, "Yeah, we're gonna." Like the same year the record came out, they're like, "We're gonna do that." Like what is it? Psycho Fest in Las Vegas.
Oh, yep.
And then I think they were gonna do like one or two more festivals in the United States, and then they were gonna come back in 2019 with a full-scale North American tour.
Yeah. And
it didn't ever happen. And they're one of those bands that I've always wanted to see live and have not yet. Because they just don't tour very often at all.
I don't blame them. I've seen their stage setup. That looks expensive as fuck.
But it looks incredible.
Yeah.
It looks so incredible.
I would have loved to have gone back and seen Dissection.
Dude, yeah.
I fucking love Dissection. They're one of my favorite black metal bands. Like, and I remember when a friend of mine showed me the Somber Lane.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, this is black metal. Like, this is, like it's just like really aggressive sounding. Like it's like modern black metal without the symphonic elements of it.
Yeah, they definitely capture the melody I've always loved that, because they are very similar in that vein to Dimmu, but it's without the fucking symphony, the orchestra.
Yeah.
They're doing everything themselves, and it's still raw as fuck.
Yeah.
Especially in Storm of the Lightsbane. Dude, one of the greatest records of that genre.
I honestly like all of their records are good. I think. Even Chaos.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, sure, it's a little out there for them,
Yeah.
but it's still awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Which is kind of something that I picked out of to kind of go back to Verminous. The interlude that was with it was like a straight dissection. Like I remember saying that to you.
Yeah, you did.
I was
I remember that.
Yes, like fuck yeah, kind of a thing. But yeah, like that was kind of the first when I first started, because I'd heard those so many times, and I kind of was like spent a lot of time with them, and I was like, well, maybe there's that kind of turned me on to like Emperor and like Immortal and kind of that those kind of bands. And
so you found Dissection before Emperor and Immortal?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, right?
Damn. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, and honestly, like I'm still finding out about just older black metal bands from that, because like it took me a while because I was always conditioned to like the super polished like Dimmu kind of sound as far as black metal.
Yeah,
that's kind of what I knew of it, and then once I heard like I said, like Dissection. Around that time, I was like, "This is, maybe I could kind of get into this and stuff." Because it is at first when when you first hear it, it's very like it's pretty abrasive. Like it's super raw and stuff, but at the same time, it has that like just that feeling and the same kind of like just like evil feel that has of the stuff that's coming out now. So it's just cool to kind of compare the two.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Also did.
All right, so the video stopped for a second. Everybody, sorry, we had to come back there. But yeah,
talking too much.
Yeah.
Black metal was where we were at.
Black metal.
Yeah. Black metal is definitely a super fascinating genre to me. I think that it's cool how many things you can do with black metal and still make it evil. And the cool thing is that even if you're not trying to do black metal, it's still a really good spice to put on the music, because I think that Recorruptor, especially with the new album, definitely took some good black metal influence to put on there. It's really easy to utilize. Like, it's a really good tool to utilize to give music depth, like death metal, for instance.
That's what I was gonna say. I love that there's like now it's kind of become like a subsect of heavier music. Like it's just something that's like added into it. It's like add to it.
Yeah, you see that really prevalent in like I think that's definitely been important in the recent revival of deathcore bands too. I think a lot of bands are really taking that and running with it. And some bands heavier than others. I think like especially the new Lorna Shore record.
I haven't heard it, but I've heard a lot of the singles off of it.
It's great. I
want
that shit was awful that fucking CJ did apparently. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, technically, I guess it's still hearsay, but I know a couple of those Lorna Shore dudes, and they've always been great. They've always been great to me. Yeah. And if they have that kind of judgment on him, then I'm gonna trust that. Either way, that none of that negates the fact that CJ McCreery is a fucking killer vocalist.
Yeah, I liked him when he was in Signs.
Yeah.
And honestly, like because we saw him with you were there, the Fit for an Autopsy show.
Yep.
Yeah, and just seeing that live, man,
insane. Dude's a nut. Dude's fucking knew it. Yeah, that record is definitely awesome.
It is really, really unfortunate that all that happened like just before that record came out, because I feel like that would have made such a gigantic difference for them. Like I feel like they'd be.
I think it still will once they figure out their shit, because I mean, you listen to the record and sure CJ's awesome on it, but they're like I always mentioned how a lot of deathcore bands are vocal focused and not really instrumentally focused. Lorna Shore is definitely an exception on that.
I feel
a lot of those passages in that record are great because of the instruments. I think Adam D'Amico is definitely one of the few really notable deathcore guitarists for sure. I
love watching their drummer too.
Yeah, Austin's awesome.
Yeah,
Austin definitely has a knack for it, and it's cool to have seen him develop over the years. Because I saw them like way early on when they weren't popular at all. Black Dahlia took them out on like a week-long thing. or whatever, and they
Okay.
played the Pyramid Scheme. This was the
Oh,
Everblack
wow.
cycle.
Damn.
So I think it was just I might be wrong, not sure, but I think the newest thing that they had was either the Maleficum EP or even before that with that Bone Kingdom EP that nobody ever talks about because it's
Yeah. That EP was sick though.
yeah, the Maleficum EP.
Yeah. One that had
Godmaker.
Yeah. That song still slaps.
Yeah, it's still awesome.
Yeah.
And seeing them early on like that, like they were you could definitely tell they were a young band.
Yeah.
And
we saw him with I think Alex and I saw him with Body Snatcher at Papa Pete's
oh yeah,
on the
Flesh
fucking-
Coffin.
Yeah, Flesh Coffin
Yeah.
tour, and that was even like one of the best times I'd seen them.
Oh, they're amazing.
Yeah.
I still, even as amazing as CJ is at vocals, I still prefer Tom Barber.
As do I.
Yeah.
I'm
I
the same
think he
way.
was just. I think he was just a really unique guy.
Yeah.
A really unique vocalist, and he's awesome, dude.
Do you like Chelsea Grin with them?
No.
No.
I will definitely say that I like them better with him, but
That's fair.
I never liked Chelsea Grin.
Yeah.
I always thought that they were kind of boring.
See, I always I liked them on Desolation of Eden. And
Yeah.
then I liked Ashes to Dust, I think was the record.
Something like that.
Yeah, regardless, I don't know, I always like that, just like his style and like his way of writing, but I felt like just the newest one with Tom was like by far and away their best stuff.
Right.
Like, and it made so much sense to me after hearing it.
Yeah, that vocalist that they had before, Alex Kohler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
terrible.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
like you're talking about live vocalists that aren't good. That's the guy right there.
Boy.
That's the guy.
There's that meme of him sounding like Marge Simpson.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, and you did bring up that point about that kind of era of vocalists not really doing their shit right, and I think you kind of have a point there.
I mean,
You know?
yeah, after, there's certain, like with the fucking screamer from 3 Inches of Blood, he blew out his vocal cords doing what he was doing. He sounded...
A lot of those people did, didn't they?
Yes.
Even
Yes.
from bigger bands, like fucking
Mitch Lucker was starting to.
Matt Heafy blew out his voice too.
Yeah, yeah.
Had to completely relearn how to do it all.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was a trying time for sure.
So there are definitely those guys out there where
And
maybe they weren't as good live because they were more than 5 shows into the tour. You know what I mean? And they
Right.
just like fucked up their shit because they weren't doing it right. They didn't even
Yeah.
know because back then nobody knew.
I'll say that like the bands that have kind of made their way out of that are even better now. 'Cause
Definitely.
the last, I don't know if you've heard the last Trivium record that came out.
not the newest one is good. What the Dead Men Say.
Yeah, dude.
They're definitely solid.
I've
still like the Sin in the Sentence way more.
yeah.
Dude, the
Okay.
Sin in the Sentence front to back. I will say
is a
this
really sick album.
100%. Besides Shogun, the Sin in the Sentence is their best record.
I agree
Shogun
with
is the top.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and Ascendancy's super fucking dope. The only thing I fault Ascendancy for is having Dying in Your Arms on it. It's just a little cheesy. It's a little cheesy of a song.
That's how I feel about Arms of Trepidation. Or
Yeah.
whatever that song is called. Like 'cause
Yeah.
that was the first Trivium song I ever heard. So
But
it
that
kinda
mid
sticks with
part
me,
is
but-
so good though.
Yeah.
Yeah, the rest of it's a little
Yeah.
cheese, but that mid part goes. Yeah. I feel you though. But the Sin in the Sentence, and
That
I
was
think a
sick,
lot
man.
of that is because of Alex Bett on the drums. Definitely the best drummer they've had.
By
Could you
far.
imagine Shogun if they had Alex Bett?
Game changer?
Yeah.
Honestly, like
Yeah. Like,
yeah.
I thought that record was so amazing.
Yeah.
I love that record. I still listen to it regularly, like at least once every 2 weeks.
As soon as I heard the guy from what was the band he came from?
He's come from a few bands.
What was the grind band? Like the most recent. I can think of it.
Oh.
I can see Brain Drill. That's right. He played drums for Brain Drill.
He played drums for Brain Drill?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. As soon as I heard that the drummer from that band was joining Trivium, I was like, this is going to be sick. Like, this is...
How did I not know that?
It's a
Holy
good question.
shit.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
I'm going to.
I'm
going
Yeah.
to.
That's
I'm
almost
going to bend you over on the live television.
live television, but by the
I
time
could-
this comes out, it's 2 weeks away.
Holy shit, did you see that fucking Clint fuck Aaron Gray on live television 2 weeks ago? Oh, shit.
I could be wrong. I think that's...
No, you're right. Wow. Okay, you're
Yeah.
not getting the fucking today, but damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, dude. As soon as I heard that, I was like, this is going to be something
Right.
real special. And then
That's neat.
Son of the Sentence came out, and I was like, yeah.
I knew him from well, first I knew him from Archaic.
Okay, yeah.
He was the drummer for Archaic, and then he went on to Battlecross.
Woo!
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was the Battlecross drummer for their third album,
Fuck
Rise
yeah.
to Power.
I
Love
thought-
that band.
I thought Shannon was on that.
What's that?
Maybe he was on War of Will.
War of Will, yeah.
Yeah.
Because the first
then-
one was whatever fucking guy they had initially.
Yeah.
Then Shannon Lucas did War of Will, and then Alex Bent did Rise to Power.
All
Okay.
of them are great.
Yeah.
So,
And then yeah, and then he did so he did Battlecross for a bit, and then he left the band and he left the band and was kind of doing some fill-in stuff. He actually did an emergency fill-in date for a festival day for Testament.
oh, wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's wild.
Yeah. Yeah. And then before you know it, he was announced as the Trivium drummer, and I was like, oh shit, okay,
Yeah.
I can kind of see that.
I love the little splashes of like death metal and like just his own influence is really just shining through, especially on the new record.
Yeah.
Like there are some moments on it where it's like, this is fucking sick.
Yeah.
Like, this is,
Yeah.
I really like it.
Yeah, super good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trivium might not have always been the most consistent band in the world, but when they hit really good
Yeah.
for sure.
I'll say, their last two records before Sin of the Sentence.
Yeah, Vengeance
pretty-
Falls and Silence in the Snow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was another thing for me too. Like how I was talking about how when I found Lamb of God, they were like perfect and shit, and when I found Trivium, they were really perfect to me because
Yeah.
In Waves was
Yep.
gonna be
Oh,
the
dude.
newest thing.
Yeah.
That record
was that.
is so good.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love In Waves.
Yeah.
Super good. And then I was really hype on that, and then they did Vengeance Falls, which is the worst thing that they've ever done.
Because they wrote it with, or they produced it with David Draymond.
Yeah.
And you can tell.
Which is actually funny because I actually like Disturbed. A lot of people are
don't
like,
mind
what
them.
the fuck?
I don't mind them.
You know?
Yeah.
But I've always liked Disturbed. I thought they've always been good.
Have you seen them live?
Yep.
Did you like them live?
Yeah, they were fantastic.
Okay.
But
Okay.
bear with me. Bear with me. I went with my dad. It's getting close to 2 years now ago. Went and saw him at the
so when
Soaring
they
Eagle
came back.
Casino. Yeah.
That would have been when they came back. Okay.
I
Yeah.
was supposed to see him on that cycle.
Yeah. Yeah. I went and saw him, and my dad and I got really drunk. But no,
Alright.
they were awesome. I thought they were fucking great.
Fair enough. Fair.
Um,
Hell yeah.
But yeah,
That's
that influence from him really is not what Trivium needed. That's for sure.
I didn't, yeah, it hit me pretty weird. And honestly, like, it was mostly just like the vocal side of it.
Yeah,
Like,
I
it
agree.
just, I don't know, like, it felt like a Trivium record, but with David Draymond on vocals.
Yeah,
Like, that's what it felt like to me. Which kind of, like, and not to, because I, up until probably Indestructible, I liked Disturbed.
up until and including, or
Including
Okay.
Indestructible, because I really liked Indestructible.
gotcha.
And then Asylum came out, and I thought it was good, but I wasn't like super sold on it.
Mhm.
And then anything else that's come out after that's kind of been,
Yeah, I gotta agree with you there.
Because Indestructible is like
Yeah,
shit.
One of their best.
10,000 Fists though.
Yeah, 10,000 Fists is my favorite one, but Indestructible isn't far
shit.
behind.
Easily.
And then yeah, I felt the same way about Asylum too. But however, the good songs that are on there are some of my favorite songs that they've done. I really love the title track.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure people are gonna watch this and just give so much hate.
Oh, yeah.
because it's Disturbed or whatever.
Probably.
Fuck you. Disturbed are such good musicians. They really are. They know how to write a great song.
And they were a big time crossover band for a lot of people. A lot of people forget they headlined the first Mayhem tour.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
With Slipknot.
you know what I mean? They were a big, and Slipknot. They're both just giant bridge bands.
Yeah.
For people into heavier music.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
that's an important thing.
I think people really lose sight of that, how important bridge bands are. And I've always thought it's really fucking stupid how, people just, I'm into the next heavy thing, so that, the thing before is fucking stupid, whatever, know?
Yeah.
Fuck you. I will fucking jam 1X by 3 Days Grace right now.
Oh, shit.
I don't fucking care.
I don't know if I'd do that.
Yeah.
Dude, that was the best era of that band.
Yeah, man.
Honestly.
Oh, that's the only good one.
Yeah.
The rest of it sucks.
Yeah.
But like, I don't care, man. Like, I mean,
Okay.
if you fucking
Love
throw
what you
one of the
love.
early Breaking Benjamin records at me, it's like, that's what I started with, man.
Yeah.
That's
Just because
exactly.
I liked it then doesn't mean I won't like it now.
Right.
This brain is still the fucking same.
Right.
That's how I feel about the first two Linkin Park records.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like
We talked about them earlier, yeah.
anything off of Hybrid Theory or Meteora, man. Like I now remember
Yeah, fuck with me,
specifically.
man.
Yeah. I specifically remember having a copy of Meteora and playing it until it wouldn't play anymore.
Yeah, dude. Like, it's just, those, they're great. And I mean,
That's the roots, man.
yeah. And I mean, I know a lot of old heads that, they fucking listen to the most putrid death metal now, but they will stand all the fucking 80s glam metal that happened that I don't fucking like.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I think that,
See,
I think
that's
that
where-
shit's cheesy.
And
but
that's funny because that's kind of more where I fall in. Like, I like the glam metal, not as much of a fan as, and of 3 Days Grace and the
Right.
first decade of the 2000s, the shit that was on the radio. Thank you.
Right.
Even Slipknot, it wasn't until the last 5, 6, 7 years that I got into Slipknot, really.
Right.
Because they were if it was on the radio and if it wasn't Megadeth or Iron Maiden, I probably didn't like it.
Right.
Wasn't really until I said something. that
Right,
you were
yeah.
like,
Till
all right.
you got me back into them.
Yeah.
Quote me on this right now. Quote me on this. The self-titled and Iowa are still heavier than your favorite band. Fuck you.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, watch,
Fully agree.
watch
Except for
their-
Immolation.
and especially now with everybody, a lot of people are releasing old unreleased live shit,
Yeah.
or even like recent live shit, Vakken, stuff like that. Slipknot has released a few recent old ass 90s performances
Can you imagine?
that I have never seen a show
Can you imagine
that
being
looks
there?
anything like that. That is fucking
Yeah.
chaos.
Yeah. Because, like, Slipknot's
Chaos.
still super good live.
Yes.
Yeah.
But can you imagine hearing Corey in that form?
In a room this size, you know what I mean?
I would give just about anything to see them at Ozfest '99.
All right. I mean,
Yep. On the second stage in the fucking parking lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's a crazy thing too, like how they started like that, at Ozfest. They were,
Yeah.
they didn't even have the record
climbed up.
out.
They climbed
didn't,
up.
They didn't even have the fucking record out.
Yeah.
And during the course of that Ozfest tour, they were a main stage act. By the end of it.
By the end of it, yeah.
To me, they were.
Wait, did they get moved to the main stage by the end of that
Oh yeah,
tour?
you can find
Yeah.
Ozfest videos
Really?
from that because the album got released during that process.
Yeah.
Right.
And then once everybody figured out that
Holy
Slipknot's
shit.
fucking awesome,
Yeah.
yeah, like there was no contest. They were playing main stage during the day,
Yeah.
and everybody was
Wow.
there. Yeah, you can find videos of that shit.
Wow.
Well,
That's
what,
unheard of.
That's what the video for Wait and Bleed is. It's from Ozfest '99.
Yeah, but I thought that was in the. That looked like it's in a parking lot. That looks like it's on the second stage.
That was. Yeah,
it might not be, but that's what it looks like.
Yeah, that was probably one of the earlier versions of it.
But probably because they would have had to film that before the release if they were going to promo it like that. But still, like you can still find shit like that. Like it's crazy how fast they blew up.
Wow, and that's even kind of like I can't remember. I'm pretty sure the album was. I don't know if I'm right about this, but I'm pretty sure the album was already out, so it's a little bit different. But that's kind of like, in terms of that, just fast as fuck rise. Five Finger was the first I saw. Five Finger for fucking anybody knew who they were, and they were opening up like the second or third stage. They were one of the openers at the Family Values tour, Korn's Family Values tour.
Yeah.
Fucking nobody knew who they were. And we had been there for a little while already, and they were the first band of the day that we saw had a mosh pit. We didn't know who the fuck they were, so we just ran into the mosh pit, you know what I mean? And then like all of a sudden the bleeding catches and yeah, like and that entire credit to them where credit is due, that entire album is independent and independently released, and then it got picked up by a record label.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they put that out themselves, and they did that all themselves. And I don't know. I still dig that album.
I'll still stand by their first like handful of records.
Yeah.
There, see, there we go. There's another one that's like one of those bridge radio bands that like is very decisive.
Yeah, that's more of a thing where the people that were listening to it, I fucking hated.
That's
so.
bros.
Yeah.
I'll give you that one.
Yeah, the bros were like, dude, you like metal.
Yeah.
The way of the fist, bro. Dude,
and
come on.
And I'm not gonna lie, when they were like,
fuck you.
When they were like, because you walk up, and back then Zoltan is still in full like, what do you like samurai?
Yeah.
He look like a samurai and everything, and fucking Ivan's like, we're called Five Finger Death Punch. I was like, that is the dumbest name I've ever fucking heard in my life.
Yeah, they'll admit that too.
but I don't know. Like I definitely don't think they deserve the hate they get. But
I think they do now.
Maybe now.
I totally do.
Maybe now.
Back then, I guess I get it because sure, it was definitely a new thing for them. I get that.
And they're another bridge band, I think. You know what I mean? For a lot of people.
My thing is that when Five Finger was beginning to be prevalent, I was already full on Slayer.
Yep.
Megadeth.
Yep.
And shit like that.
Yep.
When I was talking about my bridge bands like fucking 3 Days Grace and Breaking Benjamin and Disturbed and shit like that, they were prevalent in my life before I like really got into metal.
Right.
Those were bands that everybody was listening to.
Yeah.
Anyways, so it was like, okay, this stuff's cool, And I didn't really see that stuff. I just saw it as like a harder rock. Right. And I still don't really view those bands as metal either.
I don't think they would either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
But by that time, I found Slayer, in like 8th grade. And, Slayer and Megadeth and Anthrax and Metallica. And, I was really big on Exodus and shit like that. A lot of the, thrash bands. Testament's still my favorite thrash band, probably.
Their new fucking album is fucking killer.
It's awesome. It's awesome. So, I'm getting into the heat of those bands, and I listen to Five Finger Death Punch, and it's like...
I can totally see how that falls flat.
This isn't heavier than Rain and Blood.
No.
Yeah.
No. God, no. No, I get that. Yeah.
Yeah, just a little late. Maybe if Five Finger Death Punch came out a few years earlier, then I might have got on that train. Yeah. But
they were right there. The bleeding caught right there at that time period where I was just getting into the screaming vocal style, and there was like that I liked and this is also kind of when YouTube started around that time, and so I would watch that, the video to Are You Dead Yet, the video to Laid to Rest, Clouds Over California, and Revolution Begins by Arch Enemy.
Okay.
Those were like some of my real big intro tracks to like the more extremes of metal.
Yeah.
At that point in time, around 2008 ish.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
'Cause-
But nowadays, yeah, I don't fucking. I honestly don't go back and listen to a lot of Five Finger Death Punch.
To me, like,
I just think it was interesting.
yeah, what kind of started me on that whole journey was because I was pretty big into like the whole like emo scene, unfortunately. But like when I say that, I mean like
Emo Aaron.
When I say that, I mean like 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge, like
Okay.
My Chemical Romance,
Yeah.
like Under
The
Oath.
Black Parade.
Like even before that, like and like when that record
Hell
came
yeah.
out, I was kind of indifferent to it because I was like
I love Green Day.
It was a weird
Yeah.
thing. Well, where'd you go to school?
Williamston.
Williamston.
Yeah.
Okay, so is
Small
Williams?
town.
Yeah, but is it
Small.
like what was your graduating class size wise? Do you remember? Was it at least past 100?
Yeah,
Okay.
we were like 250.
250?
I want to say.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
My
So we were-
graduating class was 86.
Jesus
Damn.
Christ.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's including the foreign exchange
Where'd you go?
students.
Okay.
Maple Valley.
Whoa.
Damn.
Whoa.
Yeah, I grew up in
okay.
Vermontville.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Okay.
that.
So,
So-
like, yeah. So I mean, I would imagine kind of the same way that you were like one of the only like metalheads.
Well, the thing is, it was when My Chemical, because let me think here. I'm trying to
that-
remember because I didn't get into that stuff, but I remember the Black Parade probably came out in like 2006,
I think so. Yeah.
2005 or 6 maybe. I don't know.
I'll check it.
Weird.
Yeah.
So, and I know that's their last record, right?
Yeah.
But they did like a reunion thing, or no, they did one more record after.
They were going to do a reunion thing
They
this
did,
year.
They did a
Right.
reunion, but as far as like full lengths go, like that was their
2006,
that was their last
very
one.
good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, being in a small town like that, we didn't have anybody that was like different
Yeah.
because it's like a town where there's 4 churches in the whole town, in the whole goddamn place, but there's only one tiny gas station.
Yeah. Yep.
I was literally just
Yeah.
going to say 4 churches and
That's-
1 gas station.
Yeah.
That's about how Williamston is.
Welcome to
Like,
Michigan.
It's
Yeah.
a small town. Like,
Yeah.
if you drive through the center of town, you blink, you miss it.
Yeah.
Kind of one of those. But like, it's also it's one of the more like
Yeah.
like we have a little bit more to do, but it's kind of like the same, kind of like the same ideals and stuff.
Right. I
it's-
know Williamston pretty well, so like
Yeah.
when you get off the exit there and there's the gas station with Jersey Giant,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
And so the distance in which it takes from you to get to that from that exit to get to about your municipal plant that's there,
Yeah.
that's Vermontville.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Like,
way
you-
smaller.
Yeah.
See, because I always kind of felt that way about that town. Is like it was kind of like one of the more like upper, not necessarily like upper class, but kind of like we just had a little bit more to offer, I guess,
Yeah.
than like the traditional kind of like small town.
Yeah.
But like to me, like it was always, and especially when I was going to school, like it was kind of me and like my sect of friends that were kind of into this kind of music and stuff, and
Mhm.
and it was when I first heard that record, and it was when I like that it really kind of clicked with me that like this was something I could get into and
Right.
stuff, and
It's a different thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
and like even when I was like in high school and stuff, like I was probably one of probably like 4 or 5 people that I knew, and like we were all friends and stuff that like I knew that were kind of like pushing this forward. But yeah, like when I first heard that record, it kind of like changed my perspective of what like like theatrical kind of stuff was, because
Yes.
it was a record that was very like, I mean, aside from like Black Parade, like the first thing that happened is like it was just it was one of those that like it had its own like distinctive sound to it,
Right.
which is cool.
Right.
Which I kind of gravitated towards, and it was almost heavier than a lot of stuff that was on the radio, which is
Yeah.
cool. But
At least it was
also-
more anarchic.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it also had that like storytelling element to it, which is cool. Like
Yeah.
it was one of the first concept records I remember getting into.
Right.
Okay.
So yeah, and then obviously like Black Parade was even more of that, but like yeah, just like their first record, and then kind of everything else that kind of followed after that was kind of the first that I had felt like, you know, like I was more like paying attention to it in terms of just like, oh, it's just cool music, you know what I mean? Like, and I was into heavier stuff, like I was into, you know, like Lamb of God and stuff, like, you know, like just the kind of heavier stuff, but I was also kind of into this other kind of scene where it was like, you know, Silverstein and kind of like, you know, those kind of bands and stuff, and it was
Word.
Yeah, it was just a weird time, really.
Yeah, feel it.
Yeah.
I guess, you know, like I was saying, just being a small school like that, you know, when that stuff was coming out, with MCR being really prevalent in the time, that wasn't really reaching our sheltered town, you know. It was a very, you know, Christian town.
Yeah.
And, you know, just about everybody was being raised Christian lives. And
what'd they do with you when you got into Slayer?
Yeah. Yeah, that was a bit of a thing. Because my
God hates us all.
Because my dad, he was always really good about showing me, like, you know, I have so many memories of just jamming on, like, AC/DC and Queen.
Oh, yeah.
Queen, Van Halen.
Yes.
You know, real good stuff. A lot of Twisted Sister.
Oh, now you're speaking my language.
Yeah.
All right.
You know, Stay Hungry was definitely a record that I used to listen to a lot.
Yes.
And Warrant was the big one. Yeah. Oh, I didn't even like that song. I was all about fucking God damn it.
Now you gotta remember a Warrant
You're
song.
stumping me. No, it's not even the album. It's the album. It's the
oh shit.
$1 million something. No, I'm thinking Alice Cooper.
Yeah, I was gonna say $1 Million Babies.
Yeah, I also listened to that
Love
too.
Cooper.
The one, dirty, rotten, filthy, stinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I know what you're talking about. Yep.
Yeah, love that one. He was real good about showing me that kind of stuff.
That's the early metal.
Yeah.
I mean, that's early metal.
Yeah, I mean, I listen, you know, and I still love AC/DC. I still love Queen. I still love Van Halen. The Warren Twisted Sister, I kind of fell off of, but I'm sure I would still jam it, you know, if somebody played it.
Throw on fucking The Price.
Right.
That.
Uncle Tom's Cabin.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, those are the bands that I grew up with.
Did you ever hear that Jamie Josta produced Dee Snider album? For the Love of Metal?
No.
Dude.
Oh,
it's
shit.
good?
So good.
Oh, it's real good.
For real.
Yeah?
It's like it's Kingdom of Sorrow, but Dee Snider singing. It's all the members of Kingdom of Sorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
like Dee Snider singing and Josta's producing. Yeah.
You're talking about Kirk Winstein, Kingdom of Sorrow.
With Josta, yeah.
Oh my God.
With the Bellanti.
Joey Belladonna?
No. Belmore Brothers.
Yeah.
The Belmore
the two guys from Toxic Holocaust.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, not anymore though, because Toxic Holocaust is just the one guy, isn't it? It's just Joel Grind now, isn't it?
Could be, yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
I think, yeah, with at least within this last record.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But as far as like the two like main songwriters in it, like their guitarists and
right.
Yeah.
Point being, I was raised on that stuff. And,
yes, hell yes.
You know,
that's the first stuff I got into, honestly. Like once I started getting into metal, it was the Dio, Ozzy, Alice, D, all that stuff.
And I pretty much stuck with that until because I was kind of a weird kid anyways. Like I guess weird's not the I got in with the prep jock group, I guess you could call it, and whatever. And I was kind of, I don't want to say I was kind of the heel, but I was kind of the heel, you know, like, and I don't necessarily, I don't hold anything bad about that, you know. It's just, because they're still good friends, they're still good people.
Oh yeah. Come from where you come from.
It's just a different, it was just different. I was a little different, and I didn't really get it, and that's fine, It's okay. Anybody that wronged me, I ended up kicking their ass anyway. So,
you kick their ass every time you're up on that fucking stage, bro.
Right.
Jesus Christ, holy shit.
But
unbelievable.
You know, they started showing me stuff like, you know, Disturbed and Breaking Benjamin and you know, stuff like that. And then I found Slayer.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yeah. There's one particular dude from that friend group that loaded my iPod full of stuff, and he really got it. Like, he knew from an early age what metal was. He really understood, even though he isn't inherently a metalhead.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he didn't really live that life, but he understood what, like, Slayer and Pantera and Metallica was. Like, he got it. He really understood it, and he showed me that.
That's awesome.
It's cool stuff for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
See, because I never really got into all that stuff until much later.
Yeah.
And I think it was really more so like Rain and Blood, I would say, than probably anything.
Yeah.
Just because that's kind of the record that stands out to me the most.
Right.
But just to kind of like, you know, and it was, you know, kind of taking that perspective and kind of like looking at it in the sense of like, oh, well, you know, like Warbringer is kind of doing the same thing, or like Toxic Holocaust is kind of doing the same sort of thing. And just,
that new Warbringer album is so good.
I haven't listened to it yet.
Dude, listen to it.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if it's better than their last one, but it might be.
Yeah. Well, they haven't put out a new one like what? A few years at least?
No, they just did one.
Yeah.
Like 2 weeks.
Before that,
3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it'd been a minute. Yeah.
And I remember picking that one up and being like, you know, like this is, you know, because like thrash metal to me is very like it's a weird genre because like there's so much of it that's kind of like kept the same like old guard, but there's also
absolutely.
Yeah, but I mean for good reason, but there's also that side of it that's like, you know, just that like extra like added thing to it that's like, you know.
Yes.
Like the newer wave of kind of like how to look at things and stuff and kind of like how to write songs.
Yes and no.
I mean, and that's also kind of why like I guess like thrash metal is kind of like, you know, kind of like I guess like I've moved away from it a little bit because I feel like it's
always been very stagnant.
Right. Yeah. And it's been kind of like similar throughout like the I guess like the course of it, but also like there's always been things to it that's like mostly from like a drumming standpoint that's always like driven it forward.
It's just it's really hard to be explorative in thrash metal and still call it thrash metal.
Exactly.
It's kind of like the black metal thing you guys were talking about earlier, how we hear it as like a sprinkle into a lot of things that we hear nowadays. You hear a black metal element and then you hear a thrash metal element. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's still peppered in there.
Yeah.
But in terms of full on thrash metal, yeah.
And I think that can be said the same for any genre. It just depends on how you look at it. It's just like
that's real. It's
how you I think it's just because thrash metal was so prominent, yeah. I think that's a good way to put it, yeah. Thrash metal was so solidified at one point and how popular it was. Like that was a really large movement.
Yes.
You look at death metal and black metal and their big movements, but they didn't reach the masses like.
Oh, have you heard about this new documentary called Murder on the Front Row?
Yes. I watched a hair of it.
Watch that shit. Watch that shit.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Well, I recommend Slave to the Grind then.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I watched that the other day.
That one's awesome.
Yeah, I've seen that, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Like thrash metal, it's tough to really kind of break out of that box and have people still call it thrash metal, and I think that's the reason why it's become such an underground thing again.
But then we still have Testament cranking out amazing album. We got Death Angel Grammy nominated last year.
Well, sure, but those bands have been around since those days.
That's
true.
know,
they're gonna have those kind of fans. You look at bands and but like as far as any new bands go, if there's like any thrashy stuff that has been super prominent, it's almost moved towards like a metalcore style, like Trivium. Like Trivium still has a lot of thrash influence.
Yeah.
But it's done in a metalcore style.
Yeah.
Silosis has a lot of thrash influence, but it's done in a metalcore style.
Yeah.
But when you look at like the real thrash bands that are out today that are notable names, they're still not really like that big. You know, like Toxic Holocaust is dope, but would you call them big? I wouldn't.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't call Warbringer big. I wouldn't call Vector big.
Yeah.
You know, and Vector's
That's
super
fair.
dope too.
Yeah. I just had a buddy of mine give me into a couple of songs from them.
From Vector?
Sick, yeah.
Yeah, that dude's a piece of shit, but he writes some fucking good music.
Yeah.
I guess they're coming back too. I guess he's trying to bring it back, but I don't really know how that's gonna work.
Yeah.
I mean, dude was literally caught on video beating his wife.
Jesus Christ, I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah.
Holy fuck. Fuck that.
I guess, like, you know, in terms of like crossover genres and stuff, like, you know, I always kind of viewed like black metal as kind of being the bigger one, but I guess I didn't really consider like thrash metal being.
Thrash is
like
a tough one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
'Cause there's always and like to me, I've always felt like in metal there's always going to be a section of thrash in it. Like there's always going to be that style of like aggressive, you know. Like
oh,
riffing
absolutely, and it's just because I mean, and you really think about how that trickle down effect of influence works, and it's simply because of the fact that some of those early bands were proto-death and were proto-black. You know, like you listen to Hell Awaits by Slayer and tell me that those aren't proto-death songs. Hell Awaits, the title track in itself is fucking some of the most evil shit that black metal bands rip.
Absolutely.
And fucking the technicality of hardening of the arteries is fucking just like people rip that shit, and especially with those Metallica records, those early ones, man, those will always have a lasting influence no matter where you go. Even if you're not directly influenced by Metallica themselves, you're influenced by a band that was probably influenced by Metallica.
100%. 100%.
Like those bands were super important, and that was really the first time in which you got a taste of vicious in metal. You know, because before that, like the most vicious thing you could get was like, sure, like Black Sabbath was dark, but were they vicious? No, probably
that's
not.
A very good point.
You know, like before that, it was like you had like Iron Maiden and Judas Priest. Really, I think when it comes down to that nitty gritty raw shit, fucking Motorhead was the first.
Yeah.
I think Motorhead was the definitive proto thrash band. You listen to fucking Overkill, you listen to fucking Bomber, you listen to Ace of Spades, those three records, and even the self-titled record.
Absolutely.
Those first four records are just as important as anything to me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, those first four records, I've got them right there. They're fucking amazing.
Awesome shit. Where you got 'em at? Where? You can give that shit to me right now.
But honestly, guys, we've been going for 3 hours and 40 minutes. I think we should probably call this one.
Do you have any more quick questions about the album?
What's your favorite like song off of it so far? Like what's one that like when I put it in for the first time, like I should pay attention to?
That's a tough one because, like I was saying, a lot of the songs are really different.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I mean, just based off what you've said already, I'm paying special attention to the final track that you wrote.
Yeah.
And honestly, it is a concept album. You don't know this, but it is a full concept album.
And it seems like we've talked about that before. Like when you were here last, it seems like there was a couple like elements that I was kind of putting together that they were like kind of connected.
Yeah.
But like, is there and like, and I've always been a fan of like the last song on the record is like, you know, like that like, you know, top
the
tier,
big one.
Like
I wouldn't necessarily like when you think of closing record or closing songs, I wouldn't say it's like a magnum opus like something like White Walls from Between the Buried and Me is, you know what I mean? Or like you know, or like Close to a World Below from Immolation is. It's not like a magnum opus, but it definitely ties everything together. It has some of the most technicality on the whole record. And it's I mean, it's definitely melodic as fuck, but the last minute and a half is probably, and I hate to use this term because we're not a deathcore band or nothing. We don't really do the whole that shit like that. But that last minute and a half is probably the most punishing breakdown that we've written ever.
Fuck yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can't wait.
I definitely think that particular song I can't wait for people to hear, but the 6th track, Watchful Eyes in the Temple of Aspiration, is a Dustin written song, and I really love that one still. I think that one's definitely, if there was any song that was a magnum opus on the song, that one's it. I really love it. I really do. He did really good with that one.
Fuck yeah.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
I'm like, I honestly like after, because I remember when that, like, because because how, and I almost feel like Blood Moon came out before Omen did, like way before.
Yep. Because that was a 2018 record.
Right.
So we had you beat by less than a year.
A little bit, yeah. And honestly, like, I felt like there was like that was kind of a combination of songs that really kind of tied things together as far as like where you guys were at before. But like, is there one off the new one that like you kind of feel like is the best representation of the band like now, you know, kind of like of what you guys have kind of put together?
As far as our new stuff goes,
Right.
I think that the first single definitely does a good job at really tying together the brutality of the record because, like I was telling him, Dustin did a lot of the Blood Moon stuff.
Oh no. I got it fixed. Hold on. What happens when you're live?
Dustin did a lot of the Blood Moon songs before, you know, the full lineup was even formed.
Yeah.
So Seth didn't really have anything to do with, didn't have a lot to do with the writing of Blood Moon.
Yeah.
But however,
which is
on
pretty
this,
interesting to me, honestly.
yeah.
Like,
But however, this new one, Seth had a lot of influence in. And I think that Tormented Egress being a Seth song definitely shows like where the album is going, without any of the extra flair that some of the other songs bring. Like, it's just like, okay, this is what you're gonna expect, and that's why we chose it for the first single too.
oh yeah.
Yep.
I respect that.
I'm really stoked on it for sure. I think that people are gonna dig it a lot. I think that they're gonna find a lot to rummage through.
Honestly, I'm really excited to hear just in general like new stuff from you guys.
It's been a long time coming.
Yeah, for sure. Like
Yeah.
especially like since we've been playing shows, like I feel like it's been kind of like a similar set list, like a similar kind of feel to it and stuff. And like,
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to kind of hearing like just the differences and
Yeah, to be able to vary what we have going on now.
Because I love Blood Moon, honestly. Like it's sick.
Yeah, we were definitely running with the same set list for a minute. I mean, what do you do when you only have 8 songs?
Right.
But
yeah.
But now that we have, 9 more to add to it, it'll be definitely cool. I'm excited.
I hope that within the next, well, at least within the next year, like, because we're a band that, like, we've played shows together, like,
Yeah.
pretty constantly, and it's something that, like, I've always enjoyed because it's always like a family thing.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
It always just feels like, just super right to me. And so just to kind of like, to be able to kind of, like to have you guys have new stuff, and then we got kind of new stuff that's kind of coming on and stuff, like it's cool to kind of have that kind of perspective too.
I can tell you right now, there's going to be a lot of Michigan metal bands coming out with stuff right now. I actually just recorded a guest feature today for a fucking hot band that's going to be...
Can't say who it is, can you?
No.
Damn it.
No, not right now.
God damn it.
Not right now.
I'm also just like, just as somebody that, like, like we've played shows together since
fucking Condition Critical and Medica.
Yeah, man. Like just to have that kind of perspective and kind of like, just hearing you guys like kind of on the cusp of like what is to be like your probably like one of your favorite records like that you put out.
Oh, by far.
Yeah, like to me is just awesome.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Like I honestly like hope for the best for you guys.
I think that
really,
people will really, even if we don't like break out past Michigan, I think that people in Michigan will really remember this record for a long time for sure.
Oh yeah.
Just the same way as people still remember Summon Records that Josh was a part of.
Yeah.
Just the same,
Yes.
Yep. It's going to be a cool one, and I'm really excited for everybody to hear it. It'll be
My bad.
a week plus from today.
So, give everyone the final breakdown. Release date, name of the album.
Okay, so The Funeral Corridor, August 21st, 2020. It's dropping. We're going to have a few singles to release for you. The pre-orders are going to be coming through. Definitely going to want that support for sure. We put a lot of money into this, and it's not even so much the money. It's just the fact that we really believe in this product, and we know that we have a lot of solid fans on our side.
Oh yeah,
we're gonna really need everybody sharing this shit for sure. So yeah.
And so the first single, by the time this comes out, the first single will either like be out tomorrow or today.
The single
or
will be live,
yesterday.
yeah.
Yeah, the single is called
Tormented Aggress.
Tormented Aggress. It does have a video.
It does have a video.
And it's fantastic. Would you have a date on when the pre-orders go live?
It'll be the same day as the album announcement.
Awesome.
So get on that shit.
Cannot fucking wait. Yeah. And
by the way, I I appreciate how because I had ordered something from you guys, and it got to me within a couple days.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I
did too.
Yeah.
Sick to, yeah.
I got that Eat Flesh.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's my favorite. Yeah.
Yeah, I got the I think the last long sleeve of the.
You did.
Yeah.
I remember packing it.
Yeah. And it's sick, dude.
Yeah.
And honestly, all of everybody in my band has one, which I didn't realize when I ordered it.
I even have one.
Shit, yeah.
Yeah.
So
that Blood Moon long sleeve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the last one. Most of our Blood Moon merch is gone, which is exciting.
And that's
so
a big
cool.
shout. That's a big shout out to Bandcamp for doing those promotions for the bands during this time, where 100% proceeds went to the bands. That was fantastic.
People showed the fuck up that day. That's for sure.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah,
that's
Big for
awesome.
us, too.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
super stoked.
So and all those pre-orders go live on Bandcamp. And
June 15th.
June 15th. So
I guess to kind of wrap it up, I honestly hope for the best for you guys, man.
Yeah,
Just
absolutely.
I've known you guys forever.
Yeah.
And the fact that you're on the heels of a new record and during a time when it's pretty unprecedented, I really hope that this hits the way it's supposed to.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely took a little bit of time delaying it because we weren't sure what we were gonna do. But at the end of the day, people, these are hard times, and people need music.
yeah,
No matter where it comes from.
Absolutely.
100%. The new tracks, all the new tracks that have come out during this time have definitely hit harder than I think they normally would.
Yeah.
I think they normally would. That's for sure.
People need this shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now more than ever. So, and then that's the other thing I was going to say too, as we always say on this podcast, fucking support your local scene. It all starts with you. It all starts with you local bands. On Bandcamp is a great resource. It's fucking outstanding. And because, Bandcamp or directly to the band's websites so you can support them directly is the best way to do things. Yeah, just it all starts with the fans. It all starts with the fans, and it all starts with the bands making the music to give fans something to love. But
we love our fans, man.
And we fucking love you, man. Holy shit.
Thank you.
The shows you guys put on are some of the best shows. Like the energy, I will never forget the time you guys opened for Cannibal. It blew me away on another level. Is fucking. And then the Oigs Fest. I mean, if you guys go down as the only show I saw in 2020, that's when Slipknot, Carnifex, Dahlia, Testament, Lamb of God, Megadeth, Guns N' Roses were all on the horizon. All of a sudden,
we win by default.
You
Fuck
win.
you, Corey Taylor.
You win as the show of the year. So fuck, man. Yeah, no, and it was, that's the most recent shit on our Instagram. If you want to see footage of that show, it's in the like the fucking, I don't know what it's called, little mini circle part on Instagram.
The story.
It just
is awesome, man. It like the fans really are super cool. To think I guess I never really thought, I always had a lot of dreams, but to think about the fact that we actually are kind of
you have fans
revered now.
Actually have fans, yeah. Like
it's a little crazy. I don't really know what I just did to deserve it, but it's cool. What we did to deserve it, really. But
I'll say as a friend and as somebody that has had to follow up what you guys do, like to open for you guys, like I feel tired watching you guys and then having to go up. You know what I mean? Like it just, or like knowing that like you guys are last up and we'll have to go before you guys.
Yeah.
Like it's it's just cool to watch you guys.
Shit, Aaron, quit playing shows with us.
Well, I love it, man.
Oh,
like,
it's awesome. It's always a great time.
Yeah. It is the best.
Because like even when I was first coming up, man, like you specifically you and like Seth and everybody else, like we're a part of that kind of idea and stuff, and now that we have this like community of people that is like still kind of the same people, but also kind of different a little bit. Like it just it just makes me happy that like for one, like you guys are still going and you guys are still like progressing with everything that you're doing, but also like just we have a chance to move things forward for Lansing.
Right,
has always been something that's been pretty special to me. So.
Super sick for sure.
Yeah.
Fuck yes. Oh, I love that you guys are here right now. It's so awesome to me. God damn it. All right. Well, let's wrap this up out almost just under 4 hours. Hey, you know what? We've been locked up for fucking ever. So this is what happens.
Got a lot to talk about.
We had a lot to catch up on. And yeah, there was lots of news on this episode, that's for sure. But that's going to be it for us this week on Lost in the Dark podcast, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much, Clint, for being on.
Thank you.
Fuck God, dude. You are welcome back. Open door policy, and we cannot wait to have Caleb on. I want to get Caleb on and talk about UFOs.
Yes.
God, so much to look forward to, and God, yeah, I can't wait till the next time you guys are on. I can't wait for the album. I can't wait for next time I get to see you live.
Fuck yeah.
All of it. So thank you all so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we did making it. Raise your fucking horns. Bang your goddamn heads. We love you all to death. Good night!